Introducing Quickie.lk, Sri Lanka's favorite online marketplace with a wide range of product categories. Pharmaceuticals, automobile, groceries, electronics, flowers and cakes, homeware and appliances, and special services such as Quickie Concierge and Quickie SOS. Providing you with multiple payment options, quick delivery and reliable customer support. Get anything you want delivered anywhere in Sri Lanka with special late-night delivery until 3 a.m. within Colombo and suburbs. Download the Quickie.lk mobile app on your Android or iOS device or visit www.quickie.lk. Quickie.lk, convenience delivered.
We'll be sure of our lines like about 2 weeks, 10 days before the play. A very good afternoon and welcome to the Royal College Sports Complex for this final of the Dialog Schools Rugby Knockout Tournament, the President's Trophy Final, where Isipathana are taking on St. Joseph's. League champions taking on the runners-up. It's going to be an absolute cracker of a game because we've got the best two sides, at least in the results, in the league standings. We've got the best two sides meeting here. Inspiration unleashed on the Papare.com, and a big congratulations also to our netball team who came back a little while earlier, who came back from a strong performance from the Singapore team and managed to win the Asian Netball Championships a little while ago. And I think one of these teams here will be in that same position, being able to win a really tough game. Joining me in the commentary box today alongside this massive crowd that is building up already for kickoff that is just half an hour away, Abdullah Yusuf and of course Papare's very own Sudarshana Piris. Good evening, good afternoon gentlemen.
Good afternoon Shanak, and yes, good afternoon to all our viewers joining us on the live telecast. Absolute cracker of a game in front of us here at the Reed Avenue. All roads lead to Reed Avenue. This is a replay of 2017 where St. Joseph won their first ever title. They will be looking to repeat that performance. Isipathana, on the other hand, they are looking at making sure that they keep their unbeaten tag intact. So it'll be very important for them.
Yes, good afternoon everyone. Wonderful conditions here at the Royal College Sports Complex as we have a look at the weather forecast. Maximum temperatures of 29 Celsius and it's partly cloudy but wonderful still conditions. The wind is not that prevalent as well, so I think overall the team that makes an effort to play open rugby will definitely get its money's worth. Both these teams have put in some really good performances during the league phase, and you'd have to say deserved the finalists in this league encounter as well.
As Sudarshana was saying, St. Joseph's have had their hands on this trophy before, but this is the past winners for the last 11 years or so, Trinity College, in a wonderful performance. I remember that match at CRNFC ground. And of course, Isipathana have had their name on this trophy several times. St. Joseph's, as you see, their lone entry in 2017, and the last couple of times this tournament was played, St. Peter's College have taken away the championship with 2020 and 2021 being lost to COVID. So this is an added bonus, isn't it, Sudarshana? We're coming back after 2 years of a lapse in competition. We've not seen players that we otherwise might have seen on the field as well, and we really need to write those 2 years off, unfortunately. But 2022 is a slap bang new teams. We've not known these players before, and these are the guys who have managed to make it to the top of that crop.
Yes, absolutely, Shanak, and what a season we've witnessed. There were no favorites starting off the season, but come this season we've seen some really good rugby being dished out. Looking at this chart, Isipathana College have been dominant. They've won it 3 times, they've made the finals 3 times, and they've been runners-up 3 times as well. So with absolutely incredible performance by Isipathana.
Has been wonderful, Abdullah, and Isipathana are the league champions this year, and they managed to beat a fancied Royal College, and that used to be a really look forward to challenge in the season as well for both those teams, and Royal College have been coming ahead, but Isipathana managed to do the number this time as a former Royal captain. How did you feel about that those results?
Well, Shanaka, just the build-up to that week of that final match was just massive from both schools. And it was a game that was worthy of a league final. Both teams just threw everything at it. But eventually, Isipathana's class just proved a bit too much at the end. That fabulous three-quarter line try that they scored right at the very end just sealed it for them. But Isipathana, just from then on, during this the President's Trophy, in their quarterfinal and semi-finals, they just seem to have gone up a notch from that performance, probably the confidence that they gained from that victory. And you'd have to say that they are very much favourites for this tournament. But having said that, St. Joseph's, on the other hand, will definitely come with that attitude or having nothing to lose. And I think we can look forward to a wonderful game today.
Well, recovery is one factor that we will have to consider as well. That semi-final against St. Thomas's College didn't really test Isipathana that much. It was a physical game, but they ended up winners fairly confidently in the end, whereas Wesley College really ran St. Joseph's to the wire. And do you think the physical efforts that they expended last week, Sudarshana, might have a small factor in how this game goes in the last quarter?
Well, yes and no, Shanak. I think the fact that they had to play with that intensity, the fact that they had to go up to the wire in order to get the result would have spurred Joes on. And also, Isipathana coming into this final have a lot to lose. They have an unbeaten tag to protect. They are the league champions. But Joes are looking for some consolation and some trophy to finish their season off with. So it's going to be a very, very close one. And interestingly, in the final, there is no extra time. At the end of 70 minutes, if the scores are tied, it will be joint champion. So we can have a result where both teams will be happy at the end of the 70 minutes, but I really doubt it.
Well, you say both teams will be happy, but nobody's really happy at the end of a tie, are they, Sudarshana? Even the team that thought they were going to lose the game will be a little unhappy sometimes, as we see both teams warming up. It's been a long warm-up. It's been a hot day. So I've always been a little skeptical about these long warm-ups that people have in this kind of weather. But it's going to be an outstanding game of rugby, the way that these players have been preparing. The end of a long season, Abdullah, and we're going to come in to talk about this game now that we've looked at the past season for both these teams, and we'll be back after the commercial break on the Papare.com.
Check.
අයිනෝ පුතා හැබැයියා ගෙදර නිදියන්නෙම අමුතු තැනක.
කාලගුණය කොහොමුණත් රයිනෝ නං වහලට සේෆ් තමයි මුළු ගෙදරම. Rhino Cement Roofing Sheets. Then you know Rhino. I know.
දරස් ලෝකයට එකතු වෙන්න. ඔබට සැරිසරන්න. සිත් සේතෝරාගන්න. හැම දේම ඔබ ළඟටම. කොතැන හිටියත් එකම යායක්. අසීමිත සතුටක් අත්විඳින්න. ඔබේ දරස් සොයාගන්න.
What's the best ceiling sheet, Mr. Basunda?
That's the Rhino ceiling. The Rhino ceiling. A wood pattern finish.
You can color it your way. The plain ceiling.
Rhino!
The roofing's Rhino.
The ceiling's Rhino.
Incredible strength. I know.
Durability that's high.
I know. Cost effective too.
I know.
It's the best choice always.
Rhino. Over half a century of trust. Now in a new formula. Rhino Roofing and Ceiling Sheets.
I know. Rhino.
ප්‍රශ්නේ ක්‍රිස්පි නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිස්කෝ. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ ක්‍රිස්පි කික් එක. ක්‍රිස්පිනේ. ක්‍රිස්කෝනේ.
Welcome to the universe of the Raz. Whatever you want, whatever you need, all you can imagine is on your feet. When miles are abridged, happiness is unlocked. Discover your Daraz.
Pain? Don't let it get you down. For instant pain relief, Baraka Joint Ease Fast Action Spray. Baraka Joint Ease Spray, your pain relief partner on the field.
අයිනෝ
A very good afternoon and welcome back to the live coverage here of the President's Trophy Knockout Final in the 2022 Comeback Championship. Comeback because we missed 2020 and 2021 due to COVID, and this large crowd gathered here has been in anticipation not for just for the remainder of this season, but they have been in anticipation for 2 years. There are players here who should have competed in this final 2 years ago who will be in the crowds today, and commiserations to the boys who have missed out, but that will not take away from what is going to be an outstanding match between the league champions and the league runners-up, Isipatana College in the green and St. Joseph's College in the blue. I have in the commentary box with me former Royal captain Abdullah Yusuf and former Trinity hooker Sudarshana Piris in the commentary box to call this game, and it's going to be a bit of a set-piece battle as well, because we won't want to see, from a St. Joseph's point of view, Isipatana running this ball with good ball. How do you think that they're going to attack that today, Sudarshana?
One thing interesting about Isipatana this season have been the fact that their forwards unit have played very well as well. Most of the games that we've witnessed from Isipatana College, Shanika, most times than not, their hooker or their third rowers picked up those Player of the Match awards. So they are strong in their forwards as well. But a lot will depend on how they manage to try and hold up that big man mountain of Naveen Marasinghe of St. Joseph's. But Isipatana, if like you said, if they start running, they are going to be a really, really difficult unit to handle.
Must confess, I haven't followed this season as closely as I would have followed previous seasons, Abdullah, but I've noticed some of the tries that Isipatana have scored from their first phase. That's going to be an interesting factor, how St. Joseph's defend that first phase ball.
Yeah, exactly. And also, while they're very potent at running the ball from the first phase, it's also they do thrive a lot from recycle position as well. So it's something which St. Joseph will need to keep an eye on.
Here's the ladder that we saw the schools knockout tournament going through, and we have the quarterfinals, Isipatana playing Dharmaraja and emerging victors quite comfortably there. St. Thomas's beat Vidyartha in the quarterfinal and earned the right to meet Isipatana, but a young St. Thomas's College side didn't really have too much of an answer for the running rugby that Isipatana brought to the party at the semi-final, and that's how Isipatana came through to the finals. St. Joseph's had a tough ask in against St. Anthony's, and of course Wesley. That's when they ran really close. Wesley played science and managed to come through to the quarterfinal and gave a battle royal against St. Joseph's. That was probably one of the games of the season, if not the last few seasons, Sudarshan.
Yes, absolutely. That was a very, very close one. Wesley College had a team with a lot of potential this year, and maybe we thought that they could have gotten themselves into the final, because incidentally, Isipatana's most difficult game this season was against Wesley College. 10 points to nil. That was up in Sakatadasi. Isipatana huffed and puffed and managed to get that through. So it'll be interesting to see how St. Joseph's have regrouped and have come into play in this final.
Another nearly season for Wesley, but I'm sure we will see them break through eventually. Here's action from the semi-final, Isipatana versus St. Thomas's. St. Thomas's starting well, going into a 3 points to nil lead, but this was a fantastic try from Isipatana. The first try they scored, going through a lot of phases, and for me, what's been really interesting from this Isipatana team, Abdullah, has been the distribution of Naveen Kanishka. So much accuracy in the passing, something we haven't seen a lot of recently.
Yeah, that's right. And the way they link up with the rest of between the forwards and the three quarters also has been very good. It's also another fact that we need to keep in mind, which probably is not very prevalent associated with Isipatana rugby, is their forward pack. But this year their line out has been exceptional, Shanaka. And it's probably been the best line out in schools rugby, I'd have to say. It's not only in terms of them winning their own line out ball, but they do disrupt a lot of ball. And if my mind goes back to the draw game as well, that's an area where they probably clinched that match. Their line out work is exceptional. Both their number 4, Dodangoda, as well as number 6, Wevel Pandita. Both of them have been outstanding. So that's another area which they will try and put a lot of pressure on the Joseph's line out, and that could very well prove to be the difference in the final analysis.
22 points to 6 at halftime, and they probably took their foot off the gas a little bit with one eye towards the finals in the second half of that game. But here's another try, lovely long ball, cut out about 4 men there, completely beat the defense with an Aaron Smith-like pass, Naveen Kanishka there, and that's the danger. You can absolutely completely beat a defensive line with the accuracy of that pass, and hopefully he will have a good day today from the neutral's point of view, because it is lovely to watch him really go. And the offloading also has been exceptional from this Patana team.
Yeah, that's right, and it's just vintage Isipathana rugby, isn't it? That's what you associate them with. But what they also have just brought into their game is the bit of forward nouns as well. And that man, Havelock Pandita, he's been outstanding this season, probably the best player of the season, from my point of view at least. His work in the loose as well as at line-out time has been exceptional. And Isipatana will definitely hope that he has a big game today as well.
Absolutely, he's been outstanding at the breakdown as well. Really like a Josh Cronfeld, almost following the ball everywhere it goes and being on hand in the pocket to pick up the passes from his backs. And here's the Wesley versus St. Joseph's semi-final. Wesley starting off well. St. Joseph's having to weather a bit of a storm, so their defense would have been tested and they will be comfortable. Lovely try again from Wesley. Good hands from them to get into the corner. But St. Joseph's, this is where they're really dangerous. We mentioned Navin Marasinghe earlier on, but this pack of forwards is really big. One of the bigger teams in school, St. Joseph's, and they will be looking to use that weapon really strongly today, Sudarshana.
Absolutely, I think for the Josephians, like Abdullah mentioned, like Havelock Pandita, for St. Joseph, it has been Sachin Kanavidyanta who has been absolutely brilliant, wearing that number 7 jersey. He's been all around, he's been a workhorse. A lot of the focus has been on Navin Marasinghe, the big destroyer, but then you tend to miss those workhorses in a team, and St. Joseph's have some really hard-working players in their forwards back, and also some committed runners when it comes to their backs. So St. Joseph will take a lot of heart in the fact that they managed to get this over the line and managed to get themselves into the final. So it will be very important for St. Joseph to have that fluidity and start well against Isipathana, because against Isipathana, if you are to play catch-up rugby, it's not going to be easy.
Yes, certainly St. Joseph's will want to dictate the pace of the game. We saw how Wesley managed to get in on the outside, and that would not have been escaped by the coaches for Isipathana, that's for sure. But St. Joseph's deadly 5 meters from the line, Abdullah, and this is what they will want to do. So the defensive line out will be something that will decide the game today.
Yes, it very well could be, and that's an area as we were discussing earlier as well, Shanak. St. Joseph's will need to be at the top of their game, because Isipathana, we're talking about they're running wonderful 3/4, they're linking between the forwards and 3/4, but they've also denied the opposition position on many occasions, and that is something which St. Joseph's, they've got to ensure that when they do have an opportunity, especially at the set piece and at the line out, that they do win their own ball for them to have any chance in this game.
Well, it's going to be an expectant Josephian crowd here. They will be looking to do the same thing that they did, 5 years ago in 2017. And this is the league championship game between these two teams from Havelock Park. And it was a hotly contested affair indeed. And that's that line out that Abdullah was talking about. A lot of proficiency in the middle of that line out. And just breaking away, managing to upset the fringe defense of the Isipathana, of the Josephian team, and that's where St. Joseph's will have to be really on top of their game today to make sure their defense is top-notch, but also not forget that they have to attack.
Yes, Shanak, because the traditional Isipathana outfit would have not have that forwards know-how. So St. Joseph would have fancied with their forwards, but this Isipathana outfit is up for the game when it comes to the forward play. In the contact area, they're very secure with their ball as well, and they're not wasteful, and that's a sign of a very good team. And kudos to Salih Kumar. It's his debut appointment as the first 15 coach. Went to Isipathana, it was a slightly different setup that he had to take on. Isipathana did not do well in the Western Province Sevens this year. People did not expect Isipathana to come out like this, but here they are. They are playing with a lot of youngsters in their outfit, but they have managed to come up trumps in this season.
Two teammates going up against each other in the coaching box as well. Nilfa Ibrahim, the head coach for St. Joseph's, and Salih Kumara, the head coach for Isipathana, played together for many years for Kandy and Sri Lanka as well in the halfbacks, both of those guys, and they know each other really well. They know how each other thinks as well. So how is that going to impact how they approach this game today, Abdullah?
Yes, it will be definitely a nice subplot to this final as well, but both of them played, as you said, very correctly said, they played together so many years for Kandy Sports Club, and definitely probably know how each other thinks about the game, but I think both these teams have played so many games this season. They would have probably studied how the teams approach their games, what their strengths and weaknesses are. So that tactical battle between both teams will definitely be interesting to see.
Shanaka, you also spoke about how both these coaches know each other so well. In the middle of the season, in the heat of the season, both of them toured together as women's head coach and men's head coach of the Sri Lanka Sevens outfield to Commonwealth Games as well. So they know each other very well. They are very good friends as well. But we can be assured that there will be no friendship spared here at the Royal Complex.
Well, not during the 70 minutes, but after that, we're all friends. Rugby is this wonderful game where you can really go at each other's throats for 70 minutes and then walk off the best of friends. As we see an aspect that we haven't really touched on so far, St. Joseph's have a pretty decent place-kicking unit as well. They have not left too many points on the park. So I think that might be a key factor. Discipline as well, how the referee chooses to blow those infringements and how St. Joseph's are able to exploit that.
Yes, we're just having a look at the last encounter between these two schools. It was a pretty close game. Isipathana just coming out victors 16 points to 13 in the end. So if that league encounter was anything to go by, I think we can expect another very close encounter here today as well. And also interesting to see how St. Joseph's come back from that extra time performance which they had to go through in that semi-final as well. Isipathana probably had the 2 extra days because the semi-final was on Friday as well, so a bit of a recovery time as well. But it'll be interesting to see how well Isipathana would have, rather St. Joseph's would have done the rest and recuperation in the lead up to this final.
Guests of honor being introduced to the teams, and when you are in the middle, you want to get these necessities done with as soon as possible, isn't it? Maybe you will be spurred up for your anthem, but other than that, you just want to make sure that you go into the game. So Annika, it's a very interesting aspect because even in the international stage, we see this players warm up, and this is not going to do any good for them. Like you mentioned, longer warm-ups in a hot day and you cool down just before the game.
Yeah, you do, and I think at international level players have started doing something about that now because the anthems are quite long. You're playing in winter in most countries in the northern or southern hemisphere, and what the teams do is they have a bit of a hit out immediately after the national anthems. They have a touchpad and you do a few sprints, 5 meters, trying to get your body temperature back up to where you want it to be. So it'll be interesting to see whether we'll do that in these weather conditions. It's about 30-degree heat, and the humidity factor is something to be concerned about as well. As the Josephian section of the crowd we just saw there, and you can see a sea of blue and white on one side and a little parting and a sea of green on the other. This Royal College Sports Complex is absolutely packed, the grandstand as well, and we have people still pouring in from the outside, still buying tickets. As we get ready for the formalities, a minute's silence being observed by the teams. The Josephian anthem will go first, and the people who won the toss for the home team today will be Isipathana, so their anthem will be second. It's a proud moment for both schools. Just making it to this final in a hotly contested season is a victory in itself. But who will go that one step further, Isipathana or St. Joseph's?
Fruits of virtue and of knowledge, here we gather, peace and power, symbolized in yonder banner, floating St. Joseph's star, white and blue its mystic colors, harmonizing strong and clear, stolen from the distant mountains, from the wild waves breaking near, from the wild waves breaking near, harmonizing strong and clear, white and blue are mystic colors till the mountains disappear.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are able to, once again, please continue standing. For now, we will be having the Isipathana College anthem.
The school anthems are now done, and the spectators get their chance to stamp their voice on the game. You can rest assured that there will not be a quiet section of the ground for the next 70 minutes as we have the team cards coming in. Jehan Adukorola, Chamod Senviratha and Nithik Rodrigo in the front row for St. Joseph's. Sachin Talanka and Janit Marasinghe, the big boys, 6'3" and 6 foot. Minindu Pathirana, the flanker, Navin Marasinghe is the biggest in the team, and Sachintana Vaidyanatha, who will be one of the key players in this St. Joseph's outfit. He has been outstanding today, just as Vayavala Pandit has been for Isipathana. The halves combination, Vihankaran Deep and Dilharis Subhash, they'll be looking to execute their game plan, and these two boys will be left to do a lot of defending today if things go according to script. Ruchita Rodrigo and Isuru Kanchana in the inside and outside centre channels. And in the back three, Deshant Aruka, Teran Karunanayaka, the captain, has made a move from 13 to 15. And Randika Dahanja is also a dangerous man on the right wing.
Yes, looking at the Josephian outfit, Teran Karunanayaka dropping down to 15 has been a very, very important move for them. Senuk Dinusara, Venro Kodagoda and Kavin Tarusha making up the Isipatana front row. Venro Sangit is going to be a crucial aspect. Surya Durangoda alongside Kenalu Mehisara, the 4-5 combination, the lock combination, and Vayavala Pandita, that standout performer for Isipatana College in the third row. Alongside the skipper, Dehan Nitina, is going to be crucial for Isipatana. Now, Nisanja Jayavira gets the number 7 jersey for the final. A youngster making himself his presence known. Another De Costa, not from the same lineage, though wearing that number 9 jersey, and Naveen Kanishka has been a standout first 5'8" throughout this season for Isipatana College. Sonal Sansoni and Samindu Chirat has been that settled midfield partnership for Isipatana College, and their performance against that the slightly inexperienced Josephian midfield will be tested today. Pravin Stefan and Rene Silva will be manning the wing. Keep an eye out on Rene Silva. He has been a first 5-8, moved into the winger. So we can expect him to try and attack that close channels alongside Malik Mehisara, who will be at the back.
The substitutes for both teams, Isipathana Lasita Nilpul, Gunila Hansindu Tehan, Ranavira Lahiru Akash, Hashen Randimal, Misada Rashminda, Shahid Zumri, Dinada Tinul, Kalindu Silva, Chama Tiroshan, and for the St. Joseph's team, Sichita Sanjeeva, Vidusha Ime, Sishan Bisoy, Ayeshan Lanka, Vishika Fernandez, Sanchita Fonseca, Chandupa Vimalasiri, Mandar Amar Singh, Rahel Jayawardena, and Shenuka Alahakod. There will be some impact off the bench for both these teams. And the officials for today, Ishan Kabekun will be the referee. He will be assisted by Gihan Yatavara and Dilum Dishana. And Irshad Kader, the experienced Irshad Kader, will be the television match official. And hopefully, he will not have to officiate on too many things today, Abdullah. We want to be able to get through this game without too much controversy, not too much discussion points, just talking about the kind of rugby that we're hoping to see.
Absolutely, and at the end of the game, if you're not talking about the referees, that means they have done their job very well. As we get ready for the kickoff, it looks like Isipathana who will be starting things off.
Navin Kanishka gets the 2022 edition of the President's Trophy Final live on the Dialog Papare.com underway, and the first event is a charge down. Ruchita Rodrigo was the one who tried to clear his lines. And Isipathana's chase was good and putting immediate pressure on the Josephian line-out.
This is what the Isipathana will be looking to do. They will be looking to try and play as much rugby as they possibly can in the opposition red zone, putting pressure on St. Joseph's. Then Josephians, on the other hand, need to try and get their exit strategy right, Shanaka. That's something that they have struggled with throughout the season. They have plenty of kickers in their midst, so they need to get the exit strategy spot on with this Isipathana team.
Kanishka putting the up and under, and it's well taken from him again on the regather. Makes the ball available for the rest of his team. The only problem is that he's not in the line to distribute now. But it doesn't matter, as I'm sure they will want to cash this one up the middle. Can see the big forwards lining up. Tarusha going in to protect that ball. Koda Goda now finds his fly half. Lovely ball over the top for Rene Silva. Cuts back in field sensibly towards his support. Di Costa. And St. Joseph's have realized where the danger is, and their line speed is fantastic in defense. They've managed to turn it over, but they have knocked it on in the process as well. But that will be something that out of the corner of his eye, Navin Kanishka has seen the line speed, and maybe that will make him think twice about those long passes that he's so good at.
Right, boys. Yes, I think probably on that occasion he would have done well to go through the hands, isn't it? Because you sensed there was like a 4-on-3 situation, so maybe if he had gone through the hands, the Isipathana quarter would have had a bit more room for him to just try and get around that first line of defense.
Another important aspect, the first scrum of the game. The scrums are going to be key, especially with Navin Marasinghe off the back. It's not his turn to get the ball though. And Surya Dodangoda. Vikramarachi, the Han Nitija, is the Isipathana captain at the back. And that's the ball we were talking about to Chamido Chirat. Lovely little break from Boteju at the back for Isipathana. And here's the forwards combining well with their backs. They're the truck runners. And Stefan Di Costa tries to go across the face of the defense, but the Josephian defense was a little bit over-eager that time and have conceded a very kickable penalty. And the Han Nitija has no hesitation in pointing to the posts.
Yes, well, that's an area of the game Ushanka Abekon likes to call a lot, isn't it? The offside line. He's an area of the game where he's very strict on. So it's important that both teams keep that in mind and adapt accordingly, especially off phase play. He tries his best to ensure that the players do stay on line. As you can see, that one of the Isipathana players was not behind the hindmost foot, and Abekon picked it up immediately. So it's something which both teams really will need to keep in mind, especially when they're realigning in defense off phase play.
Isipatana, of course, wanting to make sure that they go back with points. They've been throwing all the punches in these opening exchanges. It's important that you come back with points. Rinesh Silva started off the season as a first 5'8" or a fly-half. Brother of Randy Silva, but have been moved into that number 14 jersey, and he has performed really well. He's attacked those closer channels very well as well.
Lines up the first kick of the game, does Rinesh, and it looks good according to the crowd, but has gone across the face of the post. So that cheer was from the Josephian section of the crowd, not so much the Isipathana section. And
get back,
that won't
number 7,
help
get
Rinesh
back.
Silva's nerves. It is a very big game, a very big crowd, a lovely atmosphere here at the Royal College Sports Complex. Absolutely vociferous crowd with the Papare brands as well. As Dilhara Subhash kicks this one deep down towards Rinesh Silva. Navin Kanishka gets the ball away, and lovely handling now from Isipathana. This is where they're dangerous. Coming back in field is Praveen Stefan. Kanishka puts the ball out in front of Kodagadu, who makes yards, beats the first defender and presents well.
Get back, last foot.
De Costa looks for his captain, Dahan Nitija, breaks the first tackle. Here's quick ball again for Navin Kanishka. Again the forward pods.
Back, get back.
Aligning themselves
Okay,
in very effective
New
positions
bench
across the
advantage.
field. Never really isolating three quarters.
Okay.
Not rolling away, but the referee has decided to play advantage for Isipathana.
Back, last foot.
The forwards now will
Penalty
tighten it
advantage.
up so close to the goal line, and another advantage coming for Isipathana. So they will know they have almost a free play here. Godagoda picks up and goes. Lovely little offload on the angle to the number 4, Dodangoda. Surya Dodangoda, one of the bigger men in this Isipathana pack, trying to make his way towards the line. And it's opening up for Isipathana. Dahan Nitija, the captain, managing to put it back, but they run into each other. An accidental offside, so the referee will come back for the penalty.
Yes, well, Isipathana definitely seems to have got their fluency from the get-go itself, isn't it? The forwards, three quarters just combining beautifully, and they're really asking a lot of questions of this Josephian defensive line. And again, they're just getting these penalties repeatedly. Now, there were about at least 3 occasions where Abekon had to call new penalty. So they need to be a bit careful, because if Josephs continue in the same vein,
Number 7.
they could lose a player to the bench very soon.
Offside.
Just at this time around, it has been Sachin Tanavidyantan. Take a look at the tackle count, 18 tackles against 0, because St. Joseph's have not had any possession with them, and territorially as well, Isipathana has been dominating it. But what's very, very important is the fact that you come back with some points from here. If not, what's going to happen is, if St. Joseph's gets some points before Isipathana, that's going to be a massive mental barrier on them.
So another sensible decision, not getting carried away with the fact that they've been smashing the Josephian defense, making sure that they're trying to come back with points. And even though Rinesh Silva has missed a kick already, he gets another opportunity very quickly. In fact, they've moved to Boteju, who will be kicking this one. And Boteju makes no mistake this time from the right-hand side of the field. And it's 3 points to 0, much to the joy of the adoring Isipathana Green Machine crowd. They will be the favourites going into this game, but knockout finals are nothing to be taken for granted. As we thought this afternoon as well, the Sri Lanka netball team favourites for the game, but Singapore coming hard at them. They were down 3 goals in the third quarter, managed to come back with a superb performance, and St. Joseph's will take heart from that. It's a Super Sunday, 11th of September. We made a red letter date for all the wrong reasons, but hopefully we'll remember this one for the right reasons.
Get back.
St. Joseph's for the first time making a foray into the Josephian half. Josephians making a foray into the Isipathana half, I should say. And Navin Kanishka wastes no time in booting them right back out to their own territory, and Subhash Dilhara will do the same. Looking for a 50-22, but not finding it. Boteju, Navin Kanishka rather. Here's Dahan Nitija, playing with the confidence of a league-winning skipper. Another big hit. Might have been a little high on Kodagoda, but he shows no signs of being affected by that. Kenuna Mihisara. And uncharacteristically inaccurate passing from Isipathana, who will concede the scrum to St. Joseph's. Do we see Navin Marasing off the back of this one?
There's some good phases created by Isipathana, but the thing is they did not gain much ground, was it, Shanaka? They were just more or less just going a bit lateral. Credit to the Josephian defensive line for holding them, not letting them get past the gain line, and eventually just taking his eyes off the ball on that occasion. I think Isipathana will do well to try and play the territorial game as well. They do look very fluent and confident when they do have the ball in hand, but they just got to ensure that they play the game in the right areas of the field.
Just an 11 kilo difference in the pack weights. Nothing to really speak much about, but it's very unusual to see an Isipathana pack being the heavier of the two. Lovely up and under, well called for. But in the end, between Rinesh Silva and Boteju, they managed to knock the ball on. Bit of a miscommunication by the Isipathana duo at the back. And you can see the tactic that Nilfa Ibrahim has given his fly half.
Yes, put the ball up and make sure that you have committed chasers behind it. A ball put up is only as good as its chasers. As you can see, 3 Josephian shirts are going and putting pressure. The skipper, Isuru, the second center for St. Joseph, really making trouble, but this is a very good area, isn't it? Inside the 22 meters, right in front of the post.
Well, it's a terrible bit of number 8 play there from Navin Marasing. Unfortunately, allows the ball to shoot straight out of channel 1. And that was a real lapse in concentration, and St. Joseph's have really paid the price. They had a wonderful attacking opportunity and now suddenly find themselves just outside their own 22, having to kick the ball back. The chase is great though, but Navin Kanishka managing to evade the chasing Randika Dahamja. Good tussle for possession close to the touchline, and Isipathana seem to have won that tussle. And now it's come back on the Josephian side. Randeepa calling for some forwards to make themselves available, and Navin Marasing does just that. Be wanting to make amends for his previous mistake. And Subhash pumps this one into the skies again. And Boteju this time does well to come away with it. Boteju still going, may have profited from his own fumble, gets the ball away but can't find Rinesh Silva, who knocks the ball on. St. Joseph's will be looking for an advantage, and now Isipathana stuck with nobody at the back. But there's no advantage. The referee will come back, and if St. Joseph's had just noticed that both Boteju and Rinesh Silva were up in the play, who knows what would have happened. Havelock at the back.
Exactly, Shanika, because they have been, they came in with a plan to put the ball up and chase it committedly. If they had put that ball up, maybe, just maybe, there would have been all Saints running across Royal Complex. Here's what happened. Little bit of a fumble, but managed to step the man who was in pursuit. He only needed one man to be next to his shoulder, but that offload was a little too overcooked.
It was an offload that you expect to go to hand. We've been talking about Isipathana's ball handling, and it looks like they've got one against the head. So the scrums have really proved troubling for St. Joseph so far. Samidu Sirat manages to get the ball away to Praveen Stefan, who's a strong ball carrier. De Costa unselfishly finds his fly half. And even though Navin Kanishka dummies his way to the line, I think there has been an obstruction.
Well, I think the call has come from the TMO, and after that massive miss by Craig Joubert, there is a new law that was introduced where if the TMO does spot something, he can prompt the referee to go back to that as well. So referee Irshad Kare, who is television match official, will be taking a look at any infringement that he's seen. He will communicate with the director to try and see that footage, and he has communicated that to Ishanka Bekun as well.
TMO check එකක් තියෙනවා TMO දැන්. Right.
Director, can you check the last round?
Harder.
So we just have a listen to the conversation here between Ishan Kabekun and Richard Kade.
Please check last stump. Any foul play?
TO4 check last stump. TO4 check last stump.
Yes, that's a TO4 check for the last scrum. I believe they want to check whether there was a hand involved inside there.
Can I have another angle?
Referee Kade wanting to have a look at another angle if there is any possibility.
Can I have another angle?
Well, it looks like now the rule, Sudarshana, from previously when you were in the front row, it's only you that had the right to hook as the hooker. But now I think all three of the front row players have an opportunity to do that. They're given permission to do that if their safety is not compromised. So it looks like Isipathana did manage to get their props foot on the ball.
Yes, if at all, I think Vihanga Randeep loses the ball forward. Take a look at it. He lets it go. And there, tries to put his hand in and loses it forward. If at all, that'll be a scrum in favor of Isipathana, but they played the advantage already.
So you see the strapping on the hand of Randeepa, and it's the same hand that you see with the strapping that goes into the scrum. So there's no hand of Isipathana involved as far as we can see. Let's see what referee Irshad Kade says. He has a decision ready.
Yes. Penalty against St. Joseph's. Penalty against St. Joseph's. Scrum. Hands in the scrum.
Okay, thank you. Hands in the rough. Penalty against.
Yes, I guess. I think the correct decision has been made. Penalty against St. Joseph's because hands inside the scrum. The scrum after he feeds in the ball, he has no right to put his hands inside the scrum. So that's not going to be ideal for St. Joseph's. They have considered their own scrum and a penalty as well.
It's just a reflex action by Randeepa, isn't it? He realized that the ball had been lost on his own put-in, and he just put his hand in without thinking. So he's conceded the penalty, and Isipathana will go a little closer, and we'll get to see the first line out of the game.
Send him up. Quite a bit of good work by Sangeet as well. Isipathana hooker. You don't see many out hooks in the modern rugby, isn't it? Because now the scrum halves liberally just seem to feed the ball right with their second row's feet. So some really good work by Sangeet on that occasion. He's given his team a good launching pad.
I think the entire front row was involved there, Abdullah. They did. I think the tight head prop did a really good job, and that's the four-man line-out that has been won.
Transfer the ball.
Still going, but referee said that the ball had been transferred before the maul was formed.
Well, this one will be for very interesting women because it did look like they held on to it until the resistance came from. Yes, they have transferred that ball. Very good spot by Ishanka Bekon there. And the Josephians being very savvy to what the Pathanians might do. Dulanjan Singh has done very good work with this set of forwards.
Yes, that was good discipline from St. Joseph's not to engage there. 10 meters out from the line, it's really tempting to go and put your body in there. Navin Marasinghe coming away, trying to buy some yards for his clearance kick. Subhash calls for it, but Isipathana's skipper has ideas to counter-up, disrupt the ball. So they do this in good situations, isn't it, Abdullah? They don't smash every ruck, but they pick the ones that they want to put pressure on.
Yeah, that's right. Cross kick to clear, but hasn't found touch. Now this is where Isipathana can be very dangerous.
Stefan coming back infield. Boteju is full of running already. Ball knocks forward, or it has been passed forward, and St. Joseph's will have the scrum, but you can see Boteju, he reminds me a lot of his predecessor Chamod Patirana, always keen to run the ball back.
Yeah, that's right. Just coming back to your previous point, Shanak, it's also important where St. Joseph's decide to do that. If they start trying to create too many phases just so close to their touchline, it can be very dangerous from their point of view. And the other thing St. Joseph's will need to be a bit mindful of is the counter-attacking threat that is Isipathana back three pose. When they kick, they have got to ensure that the chase is first of all accurate, and that they give the kick where they don't give Isipathana too much of space for them to launch an attack.
Yes, they really have to find a bit of grass. Randeepa makes no mistake with this feed. Neither does Marasinger with the channel of the ball. It's a skill that number 8 seemed to have stopped practicing. But here's the danger man, Boteju once again, and that back three playing in close proximity to each other. And Rene Silva looks like he's holding on for all money. And Teran Karunanayaka picks up and goes, the skipper wanting to spark something for his team. Referee checking with his assistants whether the green defensive line was 10 meters, and he gets the nod from his assistant. Randeepa now gives it to the danger man. Navin Marasinghe lays low the tackle of Mihisara. And Subhash once again sticking to the plan. In and around the 40-meter mark, the plan is to go high. And Praveen Stefan, who has had the better of his opposite number in the early exchanges.
Back, last foot, back.
Kanishka, lovely angled run by Mihisara that time. These Isipathana lads have really been hitting the ball at some good angles. Nice collection that time again. Ball out in front of the passer, just couldn't find the hands of the on-rushing support. But Rene Silva manages to leave the ball inside. There was no ruck form, so that player coming in, Marasinghe, came in from the correct position. And here's St. Joseph's trying to find their way through Chamod Seneviratne. Subhash again puts it deep into the hands of Boteju. Boteju has done pretty much the same thing every time he's caught the ball. Beautiful draw and pass from him, Praveen Stefan, and that tackle might be something that we're interested in looking at again, but De Costa. Kanishka coming back infield was Tarusha. Lovely ball out the back, Chamidu Chirat, and here's the first try coming for Isipathana. Rene Silva cutting back infield, surely dragged down in a beautiful tackle. Outstanding bit of defensive work from St. Joseph's there. And it looks like they're over that time. No, held up. Dahan Nitija, he looks like it's confident that he scored. But the referee will come up to the TMO. And what a wonderful passage of play, sparked by Boteju and Gihan Yadavara, saying that they need to check the last pass as well.
But that was vintage rugby, isn't it, Shanaka? Just the way they recreated phases, how straight the three-quarters run, isn't it? And the forwards and the three-quarters, the way they link with each other, absolutely fantastic stuff. And I don't think you'd blame anyone if Isipathana are about to describe it. They thoroughly deserve those 5 points, the way they just created those phases repeatedly.
For fouls, pass or not.
I think they will be looking at the last pass and also the ground
can you have
as well.
a last play of 50?
And also, Abdullah, just to reiterate what St. Joseph's are doing currently as they take a look at the last pass.
Previous 50.
I think the television match official wants to try and take a look at the previous incident as well. But I think now St. Joseph's need to try and rethink on their strategy, what they're trying to do, because every time they put the ball up, the Isipathana back three are very savvy to it. They play close to each other. they offload very well as well. So it's going to be very interesting how they take up the next game.
It's a lovely work from Surya Dorangoda, the big second row ranging out there, isn't it? Abdullah really straightened it up nicely. And the short pass, here's Praveen Stefan.
Can you give another angle?
This was where it all started. And that tackle from the Josephian number 11. Number 13 rather, it was Teran Karunanaike himself. Looked like there might have been a little two less arms than ideal. And we have Stefan Di Costa who slipped.
Can you continue this?
And this was
angle.
a lovely angle, beautiful angle from the Han Nitija. Confident running. Good clear out as well. That's the pass, sends the defense one way, wrong foots it, comes back, takes three players to bring him down eventually and opens up the hole just outside him, which Di Costa exploits now. And that was the pass, I think, that created the overlap. Navin Kanishka on that unders line gives the ball early. The Chamidu Chirat beats the tackle of Marasinghe here, draws the tackle of the Josephian inside centre, and then Surya Dorankada. Rinesh, I thought, might have gone for the corner, but stepped back infield, and a lovely tackle in the end from Isuru Kanchana.
Yes, Shankar, I have a decision. No clear evidence to go to the on-field decision. Match. Time on.
Well, there is the call is clear from the television match official. No clear evidence to overturn that try. The on-field decision was that it was a try. They checked whether there was any conclusive evidence, why they couldn't award that try, and the call is Isipatana College highly deserved that try. And I think as neutrals, all three of us are very happy that Isipatana has gotten points for that run-up play.
So you had to ask, were they a bit confused that a number 4 second row could actually draw and pass so well, and whether that pass was actually forward, because they took a long time to come to that decision. But again, full credit to Isipatana. Wonderful the way they created phases, how they realigned in offense, ran straight, drew the man and passed. And it's now something which St. Joseph's will have to rethink their strategy. They've gone to the boot quite often in this game. But if they are going to kick, they have to ensure that the back three are not given any space whatsoever to launch any counter-attack.
Buteja, who started it all with his collection and run back. He's the man who gave it to Praveen Stefan on the left wing, and they scored all the way on the right. And he has obliged with the conversion as well. Buteja having an excellent game so far.
Well, to come back to what you mentioned, whether the second rowers can pass that well, I think it's a factor with Isipatana College. You find second rowers. Here's another look at it. Lovely pass, lovely flat pass. And it's a factor, isn't it, when it comes to Isipatana College. Their locks end up playing wingers when it comes to the seven-a-side sides. So Isipatana yet again going to the back three, and they've been a real menace.
Dinusara carries that one up from Di Costa, and here's Navin Kanchana going through the middle. Again, unselfishly looks for the pass as a first option. Havelock to Praveen Stefan going on the outside. One man to beat, but Isuru Kanchana with an excellent try saver. Again, Praveen Stefan still going as he wasn't held. Di Costa to the onrushing Kodagoda. Kodagoda dragged down 6 meters from the line.
Advantage.
Penalty is coming, and here's the other prop forward, Tarusha. Rumbling towards the line, but a penalty will come again, and the referee will come to Irshad Kader.
This is vintage stuff, Shanagar. From their own half, you can just see the confidence in this Isipatana outfit now. They just have the belief that they can run from anywhere. We've just talking earlier about the importance of playing the territory game, but the Isipatana team, they just believe that ball in hand is their greatest weapon, and in this kind of mood, St. Joseph's are going to have their work cut out to just throw out whatever Isipatana is going to throw at them.
Well, trouble coming in. Oh, that's a block tackle. That's a block tackle coming in. He will be in trouble now.
Well, there's really no arguments to be had there. Sachin Telanka has to sit down 10 minutes in the sin bin. And it was very clear the head was below the line of the waist. The arms were not even attempted to wrap. And he was almost on the floor when he made that tackle. It can be very, very dangerous. Havelock Pandit is lucky that he didn't come off any the worse for that tackle. There it is. If any young players are watching, that is exactly what you should never do in the rest of your career. Could hurt yourself and really put the attacking player in a lot of trouble, and player safety is our number one concern in this game. Isipatana have to drop Dahan Nitija, the number 8. He's just outside the shoulder of Navin Kanishka, and you will be rest assured he gets the ball here, but he just ran the wrong line. Still going though, Isipatana. Dahan Nitija would have scored that for all money if he had hung onto the ball, but Navin Kanishka gets a deserved try. And one thing about this lad, Abdullah, he plays what's in front of him. He's really able to make good decisions, size up exactly what the defense is doing. And the try would have been had a little while earlier if that beautiful pass he made, Dahan Nitija had run onto it. But for him, he's just been an outstanding playmaker, one of the best I've seen in the recent years.
Absolutely, Shanak, and I think the word you mentioned there, what he played in front of him. Let's just have a quick look at what the referees have to say here.
On field decision, not try. Please check the grounding.
Well, seems like...
Director, can you check the grounding or not?
Seems like the on-field decision is no try because the grounding has not been good. But from what we see,
can you have another angle?
Control if Kavish Edama's try was awarded. I think this is all good.
Yes. Can you have another angle?
Well, he was very close to doing a Rico Ioane there, wasn't he? But just had a fingertip on the ball. Downward pressure is no longer important. What he needs to see is whether we had control, any part of the hand touching the ball. And I wouldn't want to be referee Sharkada here. I think he had a fingertip on the ball, and that should be enough.
I have a decision.
And Navin Kanishka looked pretty confident when he touched down.
Award the try.
Well, here's a chance where the on-field decision was overturned by the television match official, and that evidence was conclusive. Like you mentioned, Shanika, he only had to have a fingertip, and literally did only have his fingertips on that ball, Kanishka. Incidentally, he's a first-level player for Isipatana cricket as well, so wonderful. We have Mahit Papare at St. Thomas's, who played the Battle of the Blues, and he's a standout player for the Tomians as the halfback. Here we have a first 5'8", who is a cricketer as well. And later on today, I think all of the crowd who is divided with two colours will get together as Botejo adds in the extra 17 points to 0 within 23 minutes of the game. I don't think that any of us would have guessed this would be the score just before half-time.
Well, it's ominous signs for St. Joseph, isn't it, Sudarshana? Isipatana really seem to be in the mood today. They're going to run the ball from everywhere, and the execution has been pretty much perfect as well. So St. Joseph's will need to just try and hold on to the ball a bit more, just try and keep it a bit tight, and just try and diffuse whatever Isipatana has thrown at them so far.
The first penalty in a long time in favour of St. Joseph's. They will finally have 11 minutes left on the clock in this half to try and get some points on the board. I think it's crucial from a Josephian point of view that they get some points in this first half. And if they do, even if it's only 3, it will be great for them if it's 7. But even if it's only 3, they absolutely need to take something in with them to half-time.
Absolutely, especially given the fact that they are down 14 men as well. When you're down 14 men, if you can try and get some points on the board and eat up those men, important seconds that's going to be crucial. And also Sachin Talanka is one of their key line-out jumpers. So when you get a penalty, we will be working at the back of your head as well if you don't have one of your key jumpers to go to touch. Important opportunity here for Dilhara to put some points on the board, because at half time 17 points to 3 is going to read much better than 17 points to 9.
This is Ruchita Rodrigo who has been given this kick. Still a few meters out. It will need to be a good kick. It's a good thump. Distance is absolutely no problem, but it's gone across the face of the posts. And this Patana team is savvy enough not to rush back. They're 17-0 in front.
Get behind. Get behind.
And they will make sure that they play the clock down, get to half-time without conceding anything, and then start again. It's St. Joseph's with an opportunity now to counter-attack. Teran Karunanayaka. Again, the option is to kick the ball away. This is what Abdullah has been saying, that they will need to change. Randeepa finds himself at the back. The scrum half stepping off his right foot and left foot. Now it's available for the Josephians. The crowd are willing them on. Navin Marasinghe, every time he gets the ball, there's a cheer that goes up from the Josephian section. But unfortunately, they've let themselves down with little errors like that. Milinda Pathirana not able to hold on to that ball. And you can see that the confidence has been sapped out of this Josephian team by the onslaught of this Isipathana side.
Number 6.
That's right, Shanagar. Just faltering on that occasion, just when Isipatana seemed to have built, or rather St. Joseph's seemed to have just built up a little bit of go forward. Marasinghe did well to hang on to possession, just recycled. Fortunately for them, Lanka just dropping the ball on and giving Isipatana another opportunity to launch an attack. Keep in mind that the Josephians are down a player as well. So Isipatana will definitely fancy their chances, at least for the next 6 or 7 minutes, to try and increase this lead.
Few worried faces in the Josephian section of the crowd as De Costa waits to clear this one. Kanishka sensibly looking for territory. Looks like he might have overcooked this one a little bit, but it bounces kindly for the Isipathana fly half. Looks like everything is going his way today. As if that ball had gone over the dead ball line, Abdullah, he would have come all the way back for a scrum. But since it was forced, it will be a 22 dropout with Isipathana to receive. It's not a goal line dropout. Dilhara Subhash makes the drop kick, and Navin Kanishka now finds almost a beautiful pass, but well held on to that time by Kenula Mihisara. 2 Mihisaras in this team, Malit and Kenula. That's a lovely pass to Rinesh over the top. It's a risky pass, cutting out 3 or 4 players. But it's only risky if it's not accurate. And Navin Kanishka has been excellent today and all season, but referee spotting Jehan Atakorala lying all over the ball there. And he might have taken a bit of a knock on the head as well, which is why he couldn't move out of the way, but cannot concede that the penalty will come anyway.
Well, Shanaga, this is something that I really need to highlight. Throughout this season, we've seen so many head injuries, so many concussions, and I still don't understand why every single player on this park are not wearing a mouth guard. It's not very expensive. It's not a massive hindrance if you get used to it at least a week or 2. So it's important that every single one of you wear a mouth guard, because that could avoid a massive problem going forward.
Interesting you bring that up, Sudarshana, because I was reading up recently on Leicester Rugby Football Club, who is one of the leading clubs in the English Premiership. And they actually have found that the scrum caps don't do a lot for you. What they have done, Abdullah, is that they've put in a chip to the mouth guard, and they actually collect all the data from that chip, which shows all the times that you have had an impact to your head. So when the mouth guard moves back or forward, it shows. And this is another thing that we need to talk about when it comes to pain.
Yes, if you're suffering from joint or muscle pain, don't let it get you down. For instant pain relief, use Baraka Joint Spray. Fast action and quick penetrating Baraka Joint Pain Relief Spray offers instant relief from any type of joint or muscle pain associated with sports or day-to-day work. Available in all pharmacies and supermarkets island-wide. You can log on to Baraka Facebook page for more details. Coming back to you, Shahnakov, that very, very important point, because since this has been a comeback season, we've seen a lot of head injuries because those tackle techniques haven't been spot on.
Yes, I don't think they've had time to refine them because these players are coming back into first 15 practice. They're not coming out of an under-17 season where they have time to refine those, and we have a replacement for St. Joseph's. Lad who suffered a horrific eye injury earlier on in the season, but is still fit enough to play. But coming back to Leicester, they've found out that the trauma that the head suffers is not necessarily the head knocks, it's the amount of times your head gets knocked backwards and forwards. And that's why the mouth guard provides such valuable information. But as you said, Sudarshana, that mouth guard is really an invaluable piece of kit that I think all these players should have from the time they're under 13 onwards. I remember Coach Grant Dwyer for Sia wouldn't let a player onto the park to practice if they didn't have a mouth guard with them. As Malit Mihisara lines up a penalty to make it 20 points to nil. Massive psychological blow if this one goes over. Strokes it nicely and it's through. Malit Mihisara Boteju looks like he can do no wrong today. He's been 100% with his kicks. Only knocked one ball on early on in the first half. And with half an hour gone, almost half an hour gone, it's 20 points to nil in favour of Isipatana, the favourites. You're watching the Dialog Schools knockout competition, the President's Trophy final, live from Royal College Sports Complex on the Papare.com. Wherever you are in the world, wherever you are a fan of St. Joseph's or Isipatana, welcome to this broadcast and welcome to some champagne rugby from the Green Machine. But we've seen funnier things happen in rugby, and this Josephian side will definitely want to come back hard. The Pandit goes down in a heap. And we'll try and see exactly what happened there, whether he's trying to milk a penalty or whether there was actually a stray hand. Bekun asking for a check on that last quick tap. Referee Irshad Kara, the TMO, has been very involved in this half of rugby.
Please check any foul play.
Yes, they're looking for foul play. Seems like the assistant referee hasn't spotted anything in specific.
I have a decision. Yes, intentionally hit the player against penalty.
Probably Veeral Panditas didn't expect that player to come right at him. I think he's okay. We're talking about next going back, probably a bit of whiplash more than anything else. I don't think there's anything serious about that.
I think the penalty will be overturned intentionally hitting the player. Remember, you are looking for that quick tap and those extra 10 meters, but it doesn't give you the chance to go and intentionally hit on a player. He needs to make a move at you as well.
Yes, because you could see Vavala Pandit was looking the other way when Subhash Dilhara ran straight into him. So you're not allowed to milk that 10-meter penalty. It has to be a genuine one, and the players have to try and make a tackle, which Pandit was not attempting.
Yes, as Referee Lawrence very famously said, "This is not football. It's played across the park."
Well, it's certainly not cricket, which is what all eyes will be on this morning. As you see, Subhash Dilhara running straight into Vayavala Pandit, trying to milk that penalty. And Vayavala Pandit too, I think, was doing a bit of theatrics.
Get back.
From the Charmika Karunaratna School of Reactions. Vaidyanatha at the front trying to disrupt in the number 7 jersey, but it's a crooked throw.
What do you want? Line out or scrum?
Uncontested, and Navin Marasinghe asked for the decision.
What do you want? Line out.
Veneru Sangeet for Isipathana has been quite a very accurate thrower in that number 2 jersey. As Abdullah may recall, throughout the season we've had massive complaints about the hookers and the jumpers not getting their calls right, but Isipathana have been quite good. Interestingly, St. Joseph's wanted to go for a line out instead of a scrum. That's a very bold call, because line outs have not been their forte coming into this game.
It's an unusual call. Usually you find the defending team asking for a scrum, but it's an attacking position as Vaidyanatha comes away with that ball. Did well to control it at the top of the jump because it was bobbling around a little. And that trademark maul that we've seen employed as a weapon from so many teams, not just in schools rugby but around the world, as Navin Marasinghe takes it up to the 40-meter line. St. Joseph's desperately looking for a score to finish off the first half. Isuru Kanchana dragged down just short of the 22 by his opposite number, Mihisara. And now these heavy Josephian forwards met with equally heavy defense. Subhash and Vaidyanatha leaves the ball behind, unfortunately for the Josephian crowd who were just getting warmed up. De Costa going and rubbing it in his face as well. This is what this Isipathana team have done well. They're not the biggest team, but they really know how to get under your skin. I was watching the Thomian game a couple of days ago, and they really managed to get under the skin of that Thomian team by just saying the right thing at just the right time. So it's a tough team to play against.
Josephians, I think, are feeling that pressure, are finding it very difficult to get that continuity, and whenever you get possession, if you're going to kick that away, you're not going to have any continuity on your side, Shahanaka. So that's something that the Josephians are going to try and take a hard look at in the half-time.
Lovely space finding again, and Mithila Mihisara, this looks like it's going to be another beautiful bit of first phase play. Taken back infield, and this is Sansoni who manages to step his way to the defense. Venura Kodagoda dummies and goes. Kodagoda is over. And again it was the pass from Navin Kanishka that found the open man, beat the midfield with just one flick of the wrists. And Mithila Mihisara drew and passed, and I really have to highlight, Abdullah, the unselfishness of this Isipathana backline. They know exactly when to pass. Once they've committed the defender, they don't take the contact. They pass the ball once they've committed. And it has been outstanding work. Kodagoda can go straight through because there's enough players lined up. About 4 or 5 players who could have scored that try.
And also it's the supporting lines that they run as well, is the Chanaka. Just a drawing and passing, but the supporting lines as well. It's just absolutely fantastic. It's just such simple thing, but executed brilliantly, and that's the reason why Isipathana find themselves up 25 points to nil. It's just brilliant rugby in this first half by Isipathana.
And to also reiterate the point that you made, Shahanaka, unselfishness of Isipathana team is really hampering the opposition defensive effort as well. Ideally, when you see a forward carrying the ball, your opposite number, the fullback, will try and commit to that forward because he'll know that he won't pass. But Veneru Sangeet, because he's been offloading in very good positions, Teran Karunanayake was fooled to go outside, which created that gap for Veneru Sangeet to go and score.
Yes, it has been a wonderful exhibition of flowing rugby so far. We're talking as if this game is already done, but let's not forget there's another 35 minutes, and Nilfa Ibrahim is a canny coach, he's a savvy coach, and he will go back and he will have a few words with these boys. And let's see what St. Joseph's comes back with. As Mithila Mihisara finishes what he started, he's been at the heart of everything good that Isipathana have done already, and that's not just as a result of his individual brilliance. It's just a game plan and how he's injecting himself into this attacking play, and Navin Kanishka's ability to find him with the ball right in front of his chest. So I can't say it enough, gentlemen, about how the accuracy of the passing, where the ball is not something that you have to reach behind you for, or you have to step in for, or you have to reach too much in front of you. It's put right on the money, where these players don't have to break stride, and these wonderful Isipathana runners with a little hip swerve, they can break the first tackle, and once you get behind the defensive line, it's Bob's your uncle.
Oh, absolutely. Take a look at that Isipathana camp. They don't look like a team at halftime in a knockout trophy final. They're so very relaxed, and you can be after 27 points to nil lead in the halftime. Confirmation coming up on your screen shortly, as Isipathana College has really put in a spanner of St. Joseph's hopes of winning their second title ever. But like you said, when you have that fluidity in passing, when you get front foot ball every time you run at the ball, this is what happened.
Here are the highlights. The first kick from Rene Silva was no good, but that one from Mithila Mihisara was. Here's a step in from Rinesh after a wonderful pass from Surya Dodangoda. In the end, they managed to score this try with close quarters from Dahan Nitija, who went over. Unstoppable close to the line, the Isipathana skipper. Such good low body position. And a conversion from far out right from Mithila Mihisara. And here's Navin Kanishka. They had to look at that one. He almost dropped it, but had a fingertip on the ball, which was enough to give him the 5-pointer, and Mithila Mihisara to make it 7. And then the 3-pointer to make it 20 points to nil. So they're not leaving the points on the park. They're not being overconfident. And here's the last try. Venura Kodagoda just slicing through that defense, because all those players on the wide outside drag the defensive effort of Teran Karunanayaka, who looks a dejected man at the end of that half. And the conversion is good as well. So 27 points to nil. And the young Tomian team from last week will be thinking, well, we weren't so bad. And we'll go in for the commercial break at halftime here on the Papare.com and come back in a short time with the second 35 minutes of rugby.
ප්‍රශ්නේ බාබකිව් නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිට්ස්. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ බාබකිව් කික් එක.
මෙන්න බාබකිව් නේ?
ප්‍රශ්නේ ක්‍රිස්පි නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිස්කෝ. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ ක්‍රිස්පි කික් එක. ක්‍රිස්පිනේ ක්‍රිස්කෝනේ. ප්‍රශ්නේ ක්‍රිස්පි නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිස්කෝ. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ ක්‍රිස්පි කික් එක. ක්‍රිස්පිනේ ක්‍රිස්කෝනේ.
Welcome to the universe of the Raz. Whatever you want, whatever you need, all you can imagine is on your feet. When miles are abridged, happiness is unlocked. Discover your Raz.
ප්‍රශ්නේ බාබකිව් නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිට්ස්. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ බාබකිව් කික් එක.
මෙන්න බාබකිව් නේ?
We live in a world that's rapid and demanding. We live in a community that values trust and reliability. So what if speed and convenience had a new makeover? Introducing the new Quickie.lk, Sri Lanka's favorite online marketplace. Quickie.lk, convenience delivered.
ප්‍රශ්නේ බාබකිව් නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිට්ස්. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ බාබකිව් කික් එක.
මෙන්න බාබකිව් නේ?
For instant pain relief, Baraka Jointies Fast Action Spray, your pain relief partner on the field.
ප්‍රශ්නේ බාබකිව් නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිට්ස්. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ බාබකිව් කික් එක.
මෙන්න බාබකිව් නේ?
ෆන් ලයිෆ්ස්ටයිල් එකට TCL ම තමයි. අද කාලෙට
නව තාලෙට
TCL ම තමයි.
සිංහ වෙතින් අදට ගැලපෙන TCL 20 series.
අයිනෝ පුතා හැබැයි යා ගෙදර නිදියන්නෙම අමෝතු තැනක.
කාලගුණය කොහොමුණත් රයිනෝ නං වාලට සේෆ් තමයි මුළු ගෙදරම. Rhino cement roofing sheets. Then you know Rhino. I know.
We live in a world that's rapid and demanding. We live in a community that values trust and reliability. So what if speed and convenience had a new makeover? Introducing the new Quickie.lk, Sri Lanka's favorite online marketplace. Quickie.lk, convenience delivered.
අයිනෝ පුතා හැබැයි යා ගෙදර නිදියන්නෙම අමෝතු තැනක.
කාලගුණය කොහොමුණත් Rhino නං වාලට සේෆ් තමයි මුළු ගෙදරම. Rhino cement roofing sheets. Then you know Rhino. I know.
ප්‍රශ්නේ ක්‍රිස්පි නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිස්කෝ. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ ක්‍රිස්පි කික් එක. ක්‍රිස්පිනේ ක්‍රිස්කෝනේ.
Welcome to the universe of the Raz. Whatever you want, whatever you need, all you can imagine is on your feet. When miles are abridged, happiness is unlocked. Discover your Daraz.
For instant pain relief, Baraka Jointies Fast Action Spray, your pain relief partner on the field. Pain? Don't let it get you down. For instant pain relief, Baraka Joint Ease Fast Action Spray. Baraka Joint Ease Spray, your pain relief partner on the field.
ප්‍රශ්නේ ක්‍රිස්පි නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිස්කෝ. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ ක්‍රිස්පි කික් එක. ක්‍රිස්පිනේ ක්‍රිස්කෝනේ.
Pain? Don't let it get you down. For instant pain relief, Baraka Joint Ease Fast Action Spray. Baraka Joint Ease Spray, your pain relief partner on the field.
ප්‍රශ්නේ බාබකිව් නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිට්ස්. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ බාබකිව් කික් එක.
මෙන්න බාබකිව් නේ?
ප්‍රශ්නේ ක්‍රිස්පි නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිස්කෝ. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ ක්‍රිස්පි කික් එක. ක්‍රිස්පිනේ ක්‍රිස්කෝනේ. ප්‍රශ්නේ ක්‍රිස්පි නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිස්කෝ. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ ක්‍රිස්පි කික් එක. ක්‍රිස්පිනේ ක්‍රිස්කෝනේ.
Welcome to the universe of the Raz. Whatever you want, whatever you need, all you can imagine is on your feet. When miles are abridged, happiness is unlocked. Discover your Daraz.
ප්‍රශ්නේ බාබකිව් නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිට්ස්. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ බාබකිව් කික් එක.
මෙන්න බාබකිව් නේ?
We live in a world
Welcome back to Royal College Sports Complex as we await the kickoff of the second half of the Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts Championship, the President's Trophy final. Isipathana in the driver's seat, and it's a very comfortable driver's seat as well. It's a plush leather with armrests kind of driver's seat because it's 27 points to nil against a fancy Josephian outfit, the second place team in the league, and they had been outstanding in the league as well. Managed to get really close to Isipathana, but just no cigar. But in this first half, they have been blown away, and this will really test the mettle of one of Sri Lanka's best coaches, Nilfa Ibrahim, one of the most experienced coaches as well. And what will his tactical changes be? Abdullah and I have been discussing that off air. What do you think Nilfa's words to his Josephian side would have been, Abdullah?
I think they just got to hold on to possession, isn't it, Shanaka? They have been trying the up and under, the kicking tactic, but it just hasn't worked. Even in that first half, they tried the driving more, but they just didn't show enough patience to just try and grind it out. They just either peeled off a bit early or they just gave it to the three quarters to try and run, but there was really nothing on. So as far as Josephians is in this half, they've just got to hold on to possession, because if they start giving the ball away, Isipathana just seem to be in that real ruthless mood where they're going to run from anywhere. And after the way they performed in that first half, their confidence level is going to be at another level. So Josephs really need to be careful, otherwise at the end of the next 35 minutes, the scoreline could start to look pretty ugly from the Josephians' point of view.
And the man in your frame, Ishan Kabekun, has had a few chats with his colleague Irshad Kader in the TMO's chair, and all the decisions that we've come to have been the correct ones. So it's good to see some good communication between the referee and his digital officials. And St. Joseph's have all to play for. Their season comes down to this next 35 minutes. Will they be satisfied with the runners-up tag, or will they leave nothing on the park in search for a championship? Isipathana will just need to make sure they don't do anything silly. And as we say that St. Joseph's has already conceded a high tackle. Isuru Kanchana does well. In fact, that was Randika Dahamjaya who took that ball beautifully, but it will be irrelevant because there was a high tackle on Surya Dodangadu a little while earlier. And Navin Kanishka will want to thump this ball as far down the pitch as he can. Start all over again.
Not the start St. Joseph's would have been looking forward to giving away penalties in that fashion. A little bit of a loose attempt there.
Nothing more than a penalty that time. That was number 27 coming in on that high tackle, Nithik Rodrigo. And Kodagada, who scored the last try of the first half, will throw into his first line-out. Isipathana opting for a four-man line-out. They tried this earlier on in the piece and gave away a penalty. See if they get this one right. The go-to man will be Danit Nitija. And they run this one. Sharindu Chirat. Stefan has been excellent on the wing, cutting back infield, but that's some good work at the breakdown by Vaidyanatha. Hasn't really had much of an opportunity. Teran Karunanayak, at that time he wins the not 10 penalty, and he wins it legitimately.
Not 10 meters.
The referee will have a word with the Isipathana defensive line, perhaps, maybe on the next offence. But the Josephians have a penalty.
Some good work by Karunanaika. They are just trying to give the message to the rest of the team as well that we've got to show a bit more urgency in attack.
Set them up.
Did well to just try and extract that penalty as well, but more than anything, just giving the message to his team that they've got to show more intent, more urgency in the second half. As we look again at that replay, Isipathana just trying to spread this Josephian attack out wide. Just unfortunately, some really good work by
get back at
that breakdown.
Yeah. So the Josephians now have a line out, and easily disrupted that time by Surya Dodangoda. Does himself a bit of damage when he comes down, but again, it just, all this does, this kind of defensive jumping, and even though it's a knock-on and he gives the ball back, it just puts some terror in the minds of the hooker, which is exactly what happened there. And even the number 2 ball goes a begging. Time off, says the referee. He wants to just have a look at what happened there. Looks like it will be a penalty, and Surya Donangadu is the man who gets pinged for interfering with the jump.
It's very well spotted there by the assistant referee, Kihanya Tavare. Now this is a very, very good opportunity. It's going to be important for St. Joseph's to start this half well. 27 points to nil. If they can score here and then try and get that advantage, it's going to be important, and they can try and capitalize on from here. I think the offense was committed in the earlier line out, Chanaka, where Dorangoda was dragging the man down.
Ball completely overthrown, but Subhash Dilhara has a crack at the line and makes some meters. Sanzoni trying to stop his opposite number.
Go back.
Teran Karunanayaka, that was who took the ball up. And now St. Joseph's are close. Laid back by Rodrigo.
Stay on the line.
They can see the line now. Vaidyanatha is at the bottom of that ruck, trying to get himself into a scoring position. Here's Navin Marasinghe. He'll be difficult to stop. Looks like he's over. And Navin Marasinghe, the danger man for the Josephians. Deadly from 10 meters out, deadly from 20 meters out, but unstoppable from 2 meters out.
This is exactly what St. Joseph's need to do. Try and play it close to that rucks. Try and play it close to the breakdown area. Try and be physical, because they have a pack that they can go physical and can win that first contact point. As we try and take a closer look at Marasinghe going in, unstoppable. Like I said, brilliant body positioning, 108 kilos, going in that angle, very, very difficult to stop. Regulation conversion, 2 points added. Deficit now, just 20 points. A couple more tries to St. Joseph's can really make this game alive.
Absolutely, and this man is going to play a key part in that. Subhash Dilhara, he's the one who took the ball to the line. And this is where it was scored, Abdullah.
That's right, wonderful body position as mentioned Sudarshana, but it's just a start with the Josephians would have wanted in the second half. Get that first points on the board. They've done it via a try, and this will just give them just a little bit of confidence that they need. Isipathana will need to regroup and just try and continue to just play the way they have played, because they don't want to just sit back and try and defend this lead.
Here it is again. St. Joseph's choosing to kick it away. Malit Mihisara, such deft feet and finding space. That was a wonderful kick. Malit Mihisara has been having a wonderful game as well. Manages to find just a handkerchief's worth of space behind the Josephian back three and pins them back in their territory.
It'll be interesting to see what Isipathana use, how they use this line out. We yet haven't seen the driving more from them. They have used it not very often, but when they have, it has been effective. It'll be interesting to see the choice they make from this up. Or rather, sorry, it was a Josephian line out. So the Josephians will just want to clear their lines from here.
And that's a brilliant steal again by Dodangoda in the front of that line out. Stefan De Costa ducking under one tackle, but St. Joseph's doing really well to win this ball back. Ball comes back, didn't really matter how at that point. But despite stealing the ball, St. Joseph's still have it. Here's the dangerous running from this Josephian team. Isuru Kanchana. Randeepa. The replacements are making a difference here for St. Joseph's, that was Nitik Rodrigo, and now some space for Marasinger. Gets over one tackle, Sanzoni tries to drag him back, but they won't be able to. And Navin Marasinger has single-handedly put St. Joseph's back in this final. We spoke how it could be a game of two halves, how 35 minutes is not something to be trifled with. Dinuk Vijayaratna, who has been so involved in Josephian rugby, on his feet applauding the big man. And what a run from Navin Marasinger.
Well, that 108 kilos, you're not going to stop him by holding on to his jersey. There is absolutely no chance. Marasinger with a brace. After the turnaround, is this the Dali Road comeback? Let's wait and see. Because remember, there was some foul play involved in the run-up to that try as well. Will Isipathana be reduced to 14 men? We will have to wait and see after this conversion as Dilhara lines up the kick.
Yes, well, this is just the response which you'd expected from St. Joseph's in this second half. Just 7 minutes and they've already crossed the line twice. Isipatana have launched a couple of attacks, but the Josephians have just been good enough to hold them off and turn position over and launch attacks of their own. It was a bit of brilliant play to use Marasinger out wide, isn't it, Shanaka? That's the man, danger man, as far as the Isipatana lads are concerned.
Well, this is unfortunate for Isipatana because it looks like their best player, at least in the first 40 minutes of this competition, might be going off. Let's have a look at what happened here. It was Navin Marasinger skipping over one tackle, and just Malit Mihisara missed his man and did himself some damage as well. And Sanzoni was never going to bring Marasinger down with that technique of tackle. But this will be a big blow for Isipatana. He has been really at the heart of all their counter-attacks, and this could have a bigger impact on the game than we imagine. At 27 points to 12 with 20 minutes still left in this game, 25 minutes in fact, still left in this game. We have everything to play for here. This could be a massive turning point in this game, and as you said, Abdullah, using Marasinger on that wide channel, just like Dodangode has been doing excellent work. That was a brilliant pass from Subhash. Took out the entire defensive line of Isipatana. And Rene Silva, the small man, another small man in Malit Mihisara, and Sanzoni less small, but certainly not up to the size of that 108 kilo marauding Navin Marasinger. That was a wonderful try from the Josephian danger man. Subhash Dilhara to bring them 2 points closer, but just shy of the uprights, and Teranan Karunanayaka congratulates his halfback. And the Josephian crowd finally have seen a little bit of hope. And in these knockout finals, just a sniff of hope is all you need, isn't it?
Yes, it's just confidence, isn't it? We just saw how Isipatana thrived on that confidence in that second half. They just completely kept the Josephian outfit at bay. But in this first 10 minutes or so, the Josephians have come roaring back, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Isipatanians react. And that's just not the restart they would have wanted. Out on the full center scrum on the halfway mark, Marasinger at the back of the scrum. Another great launching opportunity for the Josephians.
They did brilliantly to keep the ball out of Marasinger's hands for about 45 minutes in this game. He's had a couple of touches and really completely made the difference. So this is a stuff that number 8s really love, this launching pad. Isipatana are down a man as well. Surya Dodangode is in the bin. And that'll really affect their line out also. It's a 7-man scrum, so Marasinger won't be on the back of this. Randeepa goes to the left side, Subhash Dilhara. He's really come into his own in this game. Lovely pass. Vaidyanatha for the line. Vaidyanatha will score. Vaidyanatha puts his finger to his lips, tells the Isipatana crowd that they're still in this game. And why not? As they've hit back with 3 really quick tries in the first 10 minutes of this half. And the Josephian crowd goes wild. And Sachin Vaidyanatha has run a wonderful support angle to his fly half. And the 14-man Isipatana defense is cut open like a knife through butter. And it's a very well taken first phase try.
Well, what a response by the Josephians in the second half. Whatever Nilufar Ibrahim has told his chargers during that halftime break has definitely had an impact. Conversion is slotted over, and now the lead is just narrowed down to 8 points. What a wonderful comeback by the Josephians. The Isipatana lads just seem to have gone to sleep after that second half, isn't it, Sudarshana?
Oh, absolutely. We spoke about how the Sri Lankan women's netball team did make a comeback in the third quarter. It's the third quarter of this game, and the Josephians have really come back fast. You spoke about how Nilufar Ibrahim will be giving his charges and what he will be talking about. Seems like their plans are coming good.
Well, it was that man on your screen, isn't it, Dilhara Subhash? He created the first try for Navin Marasinghe and created that one as well. He'd been kicking for all of the first half, and we are wondering why, because he's a gifted runner and a gifted passer also. And it looks like he had been just teasing the Isipatana team by kicking, which is his third best skill, because his running and passing has been excellent since he started doing both of them. But again, a high tackle and conceding possession, so it looks like Isipatana rattled Abdullah.
Yeah, that's right, Sean. Also, if you look at it, Isipatana's first line of defense was not penetrated at all in that first half. I don't think the Josephians asked enough questions. But whenever Josephians have done that in this second half, Isipatana defense has definitely looked vulnerable, isn't it? And it's something which the Josephians will look to exploit for the rest of the game as well.
Rugby is a momentum game, and it doesn't matter what happened in the first 40 minutes. What only matters is what happens now.
Well, the Josephian fans have really found their voice here at the Royal Complex. And this is what you need. You need everybody. And that kind of throw is not going to help their cause. It almost went to the scrum off.
Chabot Seniviratna will be upset with that, because it was an important passage of play and will give a chance for Isipatana to consolidate.
So also you have to question whether they really need to do that. Isipatana have got their number 1 line-out jumper, Dodangor, who jumps at number 2 on the bench. Would it have been more sensible to go for the safe option? Number 2, there was probably no one contesting there and ensured that they got hold of position. They decided to go at the back of the scrum, and unfortunately it was a crooked line-out.
So that's all the communication, isn't it, Abdullah? Communication and experience. You want your line-out jumper, telling your hooker, I'm confident, just put it here and I'll get it. The big man is out. So these are the things that come with experience. And it was
early feet up, number 2.
Feet up is a call from referee Shankar Bekun. You've got to wait until the ball is fed.
Again, Seniviratna trying to overcompensate for that crooked throw inside that scrum. Isipatana interestingly going for another scrum. They seems like they want some. There you go, yes.
Yes, we do see this happening quite a bit in Servants Rugby, isn't it? Where the scrum half is feeding the ball from the opposite side. Maybe he wants to use the left flank to launch an attack. Let's have a look. Now he goes on the open side. Isipatana, just a lovely short pass, but well read by the Isipatana defense, and again going over. So the massive momentum switch in this game. Karunanaika takes a quick tap.
That time really good discipline by Isipatana not to engage, but this ball could bounce anywhere. Rene Silva does well to control it.
Back.
And now the Patana line under pressure.
Stay back.
Have the confidence to spread the ball just in front of their own try line as Sanzoni takes it towards the 22-meter line, and they win the penalty. So still playing with flair, Isipatana, despite conceding the momentum in this game. Anxious Josephian fans, not happy that that penalty was conceded by their team. But Isipathana is still showing that they're here to entertain.
Yes, well, we are just near the Josephian cheering squad as it were, and they were quite subdued in that first half, wasn't it, Shanaka? But they've definitely found their voices in the second half, courtesy what their team has dished out, and we have a look at that again. Playing with fire in their virtually on their own try line. Fortunately for them, Isipathana, the Josephians being ruled not rolling away at that breakdown.
This game has really lit itself up in the last 20 minutes or so. Randeepa first to the loose ball. Good tackle that time from Navin Kanishka on the much bigger Josephian Marasinghe. A little isolated. And Isipathana won it like hyenas at a carcass. And Kanishka will very gratefully accept the chance to knock this one into touch, which is exactly what he does.
Well, if technical timeouts were a thing in rugby, I think this is the ideal moment. Saleh Kumar would have taken one, try to break the momentum, try to speak to his team to try and get that composure, go back to what you were doing, and to make sure that they don't open this game up even more. 27 points to 29. We're just one score away from St. Joseph really taking control of this game.
Vavala Pandit doing really well to take that ball. He wasn't even lifted. De Costa, Kanishka. Here's a nice unders line again. Chamidu Chirat gives the ball to his winger. Manages to find Stefan on this left wing. Stefan stepping out of a tackle. Got two men to beat. Stefan for the corner. Is that the try that seals the game for Isipathana? Chamidu Chirat did brilliantly, and the replacement, Ibrahim, who has come onto the park in place of Malik Mihisara, managed to wriggle out of a tackle and give a pass to Stefan. Stefan has hurt himself in the process, but he won't care. That shoulder will only hurt tomorrow morning. But for the rest of this game, he will remember exactly what he's done, because he is suffering with that shoulder. He's heavily strapped. And falling on it exactly like he did is going to create even more trouble for his AC joint, but doesn't matter because he's got 5 crucial points. This is Ibrahim, manages to get the pass away and wriggling out of that tackle.
Number 10.
And stepping inside, number then 10. Outside. Dotting down. That was a lovely, well-taken try by Stefan.
Number 10. Number 10.
Oh well, this is not good. This is not good at all. As Dilhara Subhash has been sent to the naughty chair for St. Joseph's. He was a pivotal player. He was the one who was making all the calls. He was the one who was making all the plays. But now he has to spend 10 minutes in the naughty chair. Not ideal for St. Joseph's.
Marasinghe may have scored the tries, but it was Subhash Dilhara who set them up. He was the one who found the gaps in the Isipathana defense, and with him in the sin bin, it's going to be really crucial for St. Joseph's. This might be the period in which this game is decided. I think there's been an agreement between Malik Mihisara and Rines from wherever the ball is placed. And 32 points to 19, with 2 points still up in the air. And it's a good kick, but just not good enough. Curls away from the left-hand upright. And Rene Silva always looks like he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders, but manages to do some really good things, like that pass that he just managed to get away there. And here's Ibrahim. Did well to get that pass away. And here's Stefan. Steps outside nicely. And Subhash Dilhara manages to find himself in the naughty chair for a late charge.
It'll be very interesting to see that replay yet again. Shanika, just maybe there was a slight forward pass in that run-up play. If we can take a look at that replay again, if possible, that'll be for very interesting viewing, as we have an infringement here.
Kodagora loses the ball forward on the ground. And now, maybe if Kodagora is back, there will be 8 men in this scrum and Marasinga will have an opportunity. Subhash Dilhara ruining his time in the bin. He knew that the game was theirs to have a crack at, and he was doing exactly that. He'd been given a license, it looks like, from his coaches, isn't it, Abdullah? Because he was asked to kick in the first half, which is what he was doing. And perhaps he gave the feedback saying, this is not working, coach. And he was told to do what he thought was best.
Save out.
Marasinga off the back. But it's a slow start. His acceleration is not the R.D. Savea type of acceleration, but once he gets a head of steam up, he's difficult to stop. Chamod Seniviratna taking the ball inside the 22. Vaidyanatha carries on. It's been prominent in this second half. The flanker.
Number 8, block tackle.
Good run that time by the big number 3 who's come onto the park. It's a drop kick, but it's wide, and there will be a penalty right under the posts. What's your call, gentlemen? 3 or line out?
TMO.
I think this might be a little more than a penalty.
Please check the goal post.
I think
Director, can you check the drop goal post?
I think referee Shankar wants
the
to
goal post.
check
Can you give that clip
as well?
Goal standard. We have to be fine. Goal standard.
Well, actually, I'm sure this is the kind of situation where the Josephians will be hoping that the drop didn't go over, isn't it? Because they'd rather get the penalty and probably knock it to the corner and try their luck there, because they do need tries, isn't it? They've just got about 13 minutes more. Have to score twice. As we have a look at that replay once again. Nice strike.
Can you have a reverse angle?
It's pretty hard to judge from this angle whether it went over or not.
Not sure there is an angle that will help much more. Ishan Kabekun was probably best placed to see it. Oh, here we do have an angle. But the ball gets lost.
I have a decision. No clear evidence. You may go to the on-field decision.
Yes, and I think the reaction from the Josephians is evidence enough that it wasn't clearly going through. If it was, they would have already celebrated. But for the Josephians, they have a penalty in that exact same area. So they will be looking at trying to get that 3 points from here. Or ideally, if they can opt for a scrum here, I think that would have been very interesting.
Yeah, well, it's interesting call. They've gone to the post to try and get the 3 points. So if it does go over, it will be 32-22, so 10-point deficit. Yet have about 12 minutes to go after this kick. So it's an interesting call. Yet the Josephians will have to score twice if they get back into this game.
Well, I tend to agree with this call, Abdullah. Maybe I'm in the minority here in the commentary box, but I tend to agree with this call. 32-22. Suddenly it's just 10 points. You score another try, and then you put pressure back on the opposition. But 32-19, and if you don't score, you've just run the clock down. You don't have the ball. So I think I agree with this, especially since it's such an easy kick. And with Subhash Dilhara off the pitch, it's Ruchita Rodrigo who puts that 3 points on the board. So it's a 10-point game here at the Royal College Sports Complex. The President's Trophy knockout final, the Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts, live on the Papare.com. A wonderful atmosphere here, which was pretty much subdued for 50% of the crowd. But now it has really livened up, and it's a match befitting a final. Vaidyanatha, the ball seems to have followed him in the second half, and he has done wonders with it. Rodrigo, he put this one down towards Ibrahim. Navin Kanishka drops back to assist his fullback, his makeshift fullback. And now Isipathana full of St. Joseph's full of running. Isuru Kanchana. Dropping that ball, unfortunately. Di Costa knows that he has a penalty coming, so puts the ball to boot. And here's Richard Shamindu Chirat. Little bit of afters.
Back to the penalty advantage.
Little bit of afters, but nothing in it. As the referee goes back to the high tackle.
Again, St. Joseph just kicking the ball down the field and hoping that Isipatana will make a mistake, but so far it hasn't been the case. That's just an area in their own half. They deliberately avoid going to touch, isn't it, Chanak? I don't know whether it's been part of the game plan coming into this final, but just considering this Isipatana back three and how they like to keep the ball in play for long periods of time.
Number 24.
I think
24.
it's a tactic which maybe they should try and revisit, because if they try and just slow the pace of this game, that will be to their advantage. Because the longer they keep the ball moving, keep the ball in play, it just tends to favor Isipatana the way they play their game.
High tackle. Repeated improvement. Yellow card offense.
And that's another yellow for St. Joseph's. This will not help their cause because both the kickers are now in the bin. That's Ruchita Rodrigo, who has been doing the kicking since Dilshara has been off.
It would be interesting to see why that was, because I didn't hear Ishan Kabekun communicating why exactly that card was dealt
I think
out.
he said high tackle, so it might have been that Sudarshana. So he was playing the penalty advantage for the high tackle, so it must have been that. He did drop the ball, so he might have just been a little angry at himself and lashed out at the Isipathana player. To be so disciplined in this game, especially now with so much scrutiny.
Coach!
Isipathana choosing to feed the scrum from the traditional left side this time.
Save out.
Kanishka with the unders line to Rines Silva. Rines Silva spotting a gap and again finding the support player. Their understanding has been excellent. Surya Dodangoda, lovely little short ball. What a play from Surya Dodangoda. That looks so simple, but I'll tell you what, getting that ball away in traffic with a little bit of a basketball pop pass to Stefan, who was running onto it. That is an outstanding pass. Stefan will take the credit, but from my mind, Dodangoda deserves all of it.
Oh, absolutely wow. Just wow from Dodangoda. Like you said, to have that composure. If he had passed it with a little bit more intensity, that would have been lost. The timing to run onto that ball, that offload, committing the oncoming defense, and knowing exactly where your runner was. Just absolutely incredible stuff from Isipathana College. This is the rugby that we've known Isipathana can play, and they're putting on a real show here.
Well, if it sounds like we are at loss for words here in the commentary box, it's probably because we are. Because that was an outstanding piece of work from a big second row forward. It's not the first time in the game that he's done it, but this one really was a thing of beauty. It looks so simple, but in the face of three defenders, to find space with the touchline looming and to time the pass to such perfection, I thought that was just a wonderful piece of skill. Rene Silva, that's not an excellent kick. They're missing Malit Mihisara at the back, but not too much because the team is doing well even without him.
There's a feature of this Isipathana attacking formula they've used is the way how comfortable the forwards seem to be, isn't it, Chanak, with ball in hand. And also the other thing, what happens is when you have such a big-made player like Dodangoda taking the ball in both hands, the opposition thinks they're going for a crash ball, isn't it? So he's able to draw more defenders towards him, and he just has the sense to just throw the ball to his wing three-quarter just when he realizes that the defense is up to him and creates enough space for his outside backs. Brilliant stuff.
Outstanding to watch this so far, but the fight in the Josephian team has also been inspirational. They've come close. It's suddenly a 15-point gap again, even though it closed to 10. Certainly better than the 27 they conceded at half-time, so still 8 minutes to go. Anything could happen. Navin Kanishka has decided that he's taking no risks. And the ball bounces into the hands of Ibrahim. Ibrahim will go under the post. No, he will kick. He will choose to kick and ends up not connecting with the ball.
No advantage.
And the young player, Ibrahim, coming onto the park in place of Malit Mihisara, who was very unfortunately injured. And he's a youngster, just 17 years old. But he will remember that and remember never to do it again.
I think he'll try and fake it in hurry. Shanika, my God, that was a brilliant opportunity for Ibrahim to try and etch his name in this glorious. Take a look at those two players who are crying for that ball.
Fine.
It looks like Ibrahim might have come off the football pitch because he was trying to drag the defense and then give that little through ball for his strikers to run onto. But this is going to be easy if he passes, but for the first time Isipathana show a sign of selfishness where Tamindu Chirat didn't pass that ball, but this time they will score. De Costa gets a deserved try. He has been such a hard worker at the base of that scrum, not doing anything silly, making sure the ball is distributed quickly. And Isipathana crosses the 40-point mark if this try is given.
And again, Shanak, it was a strike against the head as well, isn't it? So, bit of lapse of concentration by the Josephian front row.
On field, you can try. Please check the out.
So the question from referee Shankar Bekun to referee TMO Irshad Kader is that the on-field decision is a try, and the touch judge, the assistant referee, Ilum Dishana, has wanted to check whether the foot of De Costa went into touch just before he touched the ball down. So that's what we're going to be checking. This camera angle should give us a clear idea, and there's absolutely no problem as far as we see it. And assistant referee also was very clear. He puts his thumb up immediately.
Okay,
Hand
thank you.
is on the ball, so shouldn't be a problem.
Yes.
You may award the try.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm on.
The try is awarded, so 40 points on the board in a knockout final. That's not something you see very often. And Isipathana just underlining why they have been league champions this season and why they will almost certainly end up as knockout champions in a few moments.
Yes, Shanika, you just have to think that this is... I've watched Isipathana play throughout this season, but they have been absolutely magnificent today, and they've just kept their best performance for the last, isn't it? The control they have shown in attack, the enterprise, the confidence, it's just been a sight to behold, and everyone who has come here today has been treated to some wonderful rugby, and also a bit of praise for the Josephians as well, the way they came back at the beginning of that second half to just keep themselves in the game, but Isipathana in their class just coming through at the end.
Yes, certainly. I think we have to credit St. Joseph's for making a game of it early on in that second half. It would have been easy for them just to... Rene Silva. Everything's going right for Isipathana today. Team should go out and buy a whole bunch of lottery tickets because everything has gone their way on this 11th of September. Sri Lankan girls Asian netball champs beating Singapore in a closely contested game. Earlier on in the afternoon, Isipathana now running away. And one other big sporting final to look forward to.
Last warning.
With Sri Lanka taking on Pakistan in a few hours' time.
Well, don't forget, later on in the day, we have the Rugby World Cup happening as well in South Africa. That's going to be Rugby World Cup 7s, that is, yes, happening. That's going to be quite interesting to see how that will turn out.
Mara Singh just letting his emotions get the better of him there, but well done to the Isipatana lads for not responding to that. Ravela Pandit making sure he calms the tempers of both teams. Tell you what, this Isipatana team has not stopped chattering. And our sponsors there, along with the president of the Schools Rugby Football Association, and they will be very happy with what they've seen on the park today and with what we've managed to show you on your screens today, wherever you are in the world.
Yes, absolutely. Kudos to Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association and also Dialog at PLC for putting these two tournaments together. Like we mentioned, after 2 long years of no rugby, here we are treated to some sublime action from 2 very good teams in this final.
Okay, backwards.
Chamidu Chirat engineering something there, and it's the first time Isipatana have really knocked the ball on with no real excuse there. To be fair, it is Senath Dinusara, the prop forward, who's played 67 minutes so far. And here are the replacements, being given a little bit of time. Rashkin, the little chip through. And I'm sure these little punts and grubbers that Isipatana have put through, Riza Mubarak watching all the way in Toronto, be very happy about it. Ravela Pandit hasn't had a lot to do with ball in hand this whole game, but he puts the stamp of authority on this game, and he deserves that try for the wonderful season he has had. Been a real outstanding player in this Isipatana pack, and he certainly deserves that final score. The Isipatana fans invading the pitch, and I hope we don't see more of that before the game is done.
Time off.
Now, just now Isipatana adding salt to injury. Again, Dodangura giving out that pass to Ravela Pandita. Lovely bit of work, and the younger Mara Singh didn't know exactly what to do. He just had to get out of the way. Take a look at this. Just lovely stuff, and Isipatana showing the dominance. They are unbeaten league champions. They want to keep it that way. They do not want any blemish in their record this year. 49 points, and Silva can make this a half-century performance from Isipatana College.
Yes, again, Isipatana just rather Josephians guilty of kicking possession away and again, isn't it, Sudarshan? We've seen throughout this game how dangerous Isipatana's counter-attacking prowess has been. Just the Josephians, you just sense that in that immediately after the half-time break, they seem to have adjusted their game plan, but just fallen back onto that kicking game, and Isipatana have made them pay. So nonetheless, it's just been Isipatana's game. They really treated us to some wonderful rugby today. Don't think you can argue for them. Unbeaten champions.
This team, Abdullah, we've been lucky enough to watch some great Isipatana teams. You've had the good fortune of playing against some, or the bad fortune perhaps I should say, of playing against some of their best sides in the mid-90s and the late 90s. But this goes back to the sides of guys like Krishanta Chandran in 99, and then the 2000 team as well. This is as good a performance. I mean, they did win in 2015 with Omalka Gunaratna's side. That was a good team. But this really is up there with some of the best Isipatana teams that we have seen.
Just to add a small point to that, Shanak, I think I see a lot of similarities in this side with Kumendra Dharmadasa's side of Isipatana, who went on to become triple champions. They did not have a single star. Nobody believed in them. This side got hammered in the Western Province Sevens. Nobody gave them a chance because Isipatana is traditionally very strong in their sevens. But here they are coming and delivering with no stars per se, but everybody putting their hand up and saying we are going to come out and perform.
Just a couple of things, Sudarshan, just to add to that. It's their skill level and the confidence, isn't it? Just the way the forwards handle the ball in open play. They just seem so apt at it. They seem so comfortable at it. And you just don't see that so much in schools rugby. But, we're talking about Dodangora, how comfortable he was to identify the overlaps. Just draw players towards him, just get the ball out to the wing. You just don't see that so much in schools rugby. So, absolutely fantastic by Isipathana.
A little bit of a hold up. It's only a few seconds left on the clock, but the referee will not start until players are completely safe and the crowd are back in their enclosure. So there's a bit of pain around, mostly for the St. Joseph's team that has taken a bit of a battering on the scoreboard.
Time on.
And this is your fast relief for pain. Subhash Dilhara back from the sin bin in what was a crucial moment in the game where he was leading St. Joseph's comeback and he had to go to the bin, and that took the wind out of the sails of that particular comeback.
Go back.
Here we are, Navin Kanishka going across the face of the defense once again. Ibrahim, you can see why he's in the team. He's got a lot of potential, just needs to get some experience.
Offside.
Costa has played the whole game.
Advantage.
Lovely angle again from Jayavira. And here's the overlap. Ibrahim draws and passes.
Advantage over.
And he's on the end of it again. What a wonderful pickup. Ibrahim manages to find Ruskin there.
Again, advantage. New penalty advantage.
Smashed in the tackle that time. Marasinger making an excellent stop on Mihisara, the hard-running second rower. The Josephian defense is up quickly that time. But the clear out is good. And De Costa still giving quick ball to his fly half, who's had the luxury of a forward pack that has been excellent. And De Costa decides that he's not interested in 50 points. He's interested in the trophy. And Isipathana with a resounding 49 points to 22 victory over the second place team in the league. And you have to say, St. Joseph's, their performance over the season certainly doesn't deserve a 49-22 reversal. But today, Isipathana have been absolutely superlative and deserve every single one of those points that they had on the board. A wonderful comeback for a moment by St. Joseph's, but Isipathana responding and winning this title to remain unbeaten league and knockout champions.
Absolutely, Shadagaya. Yes, like you said, St. Joseph's putting on that comeback and making this game a little more alive. But then Isipathana College, what a performance from those lads. And also, we need to try and decide who our NDB player of the match is going to be. Personally, for me, from Isipathana College, we've had some really good performances in the form of Kanishka, who was their number 10, who did pull all the strings. But I'm going to be a little biased towards the forwards, and I'm going to go with Surya Dodangoda, who did very well in the lineouts as well to upset the opposition ball. But boy, that pass to create that try for Praveen Stefan. Stefan is going to miss out despite scoring a hat-trick in my books, but I leave it up to you two to decide on who the player of the match is going to be. My vote is going to be with Surya Dodangoda.
Well, let's just have a look at some of the performances very quickly. I thought Dodangoda was outstanding. I thought Vavala Pandit was also really good. Navin Kanishka, as you said. And for me, the standout player in that first half, at the time that Isipathana got 27 points on board, was Malit Mihizar, their fullback, who was outstanding under the high ball, but he played only about 40 minutes of the game. One blemish in Surya Dodangoda's performance is the fact that he did go to the sin bin for 10 minutes, but also from the Josephian point of view, Subhash Dilhara had a wonderful passage of play. Navin Marasinger scored a couple of tries, and I think Vaidyanath also had a very good game for the Josephians. But Abdullah, I've given you a list, and I think the final arbitration needs to come from you.
Yes, Shanagan, it's quite a long list as well, isn't it? But that's just an indication of how this game has moved on. For me, I'd like to narrow it down to two players. Sudarshan said Dodangoda, absolutely brilliant, ball in hand in open play, as well as line out time, and of course the triple try scorer Praveen Stefan. I thought there were so many instances where he just managed to break through tackles as well. So it's an absolute toss-up between both of them, but probably I'd go towards Dodangoda a bit more because of the hard work he did at the breakdown, at line-out time, and just his ability to just distribute. I mean, that's just next-level rugby, isn't it? And absolutely fantastic. So if you're talking with both you gentlemen, my nomination would be Isipathana second row forward, Surya Dodangoda.
Well, then we are unanimous. Abdullah and Surya Dodangoda wins the man of the match in the final. Not to take anything away from other players who really contributed. And here are the two men who will be ecstatically happy. Salia Kumar on the left, Danushka Boteju on the right. And they will be very, very happy with the performance of their team. Not just today, but over the course of this last season. Started off as rank outsiders, as Zultan said, getting thrashed in the sevens, which is their traditional stronghold. And then coming back in the 15th game, having a forward pack that was heavier than the Josephian pack going into the game, and despite that weight advantage, still showed that the 11 kilos means nothing when you have the type of ball players, the guys who can find passes in absolutely no space, playing in your second row. And it really was an outstanding performance by that forward pack. Danushka Boteju will be very happy with the work that they have put in on the training ground. So that's the confirmation. Isipathana 49, St. Joseph's 22, 7 tries to 3. We've had 10 tries in this game. And all the neutrals watching, even if you are a Josephian fan, you really have to feel that you lost to the better team on the day, and that it was a wonderful performance to watch, and the game of rugby really was the winner on this occasion at the Royal College Sports Complex. And it has been a game filled with highlights, and we'll bring you a few of those from the second half. The full game highlights, in fact, we'll be bringing to you.
Started off with Mihisar adding on 3 points. Rene Silva's first attempt was not successful, but then here came the first try. Loved a bit of work from Rene Silva, cut him back inside. Yet again, it was the Isipathana forwards who got onto the act, made sure that they had the upper hand. The skipper leading from the front, Dahan Nitana, touching down for the first try. He'll be absolutely delighted because it was not sure whether he'll actually get the nod to play this game due to an injury he was nursing. And then came Kanishka's try, lovely bit of show and go, touching right underneath the post. Mihisar's introduction as the player's kicker did really add a lot to Isipathana's game because he could pierce the post at will. So that would have given them a lot of confidence in taking on. And then came Venura Sangeet, show and go underneath the post. Isipathana forwards and their ability to offload Abdullah has been top-notch.
Absolutely, and the way they link up with their three quarters as well, Sudarshan, just absolutely fantastic. And this was the period where the Josephians came storming back, courtesy their number 8, Naveen Marasingh, 2 tries in very short period of time. We thought that the game was on, but just as any good champion team would do, Isipathana just up their game, and this was the second try. Marauding run by big man Mara Singh, and Isipathana defense had no answer to that storming run on the left flank.
Vidyan Sachintana managing to touch down, and at this point, if St. Joseph's did not lose their key man Dilhar Subhash, maybe, just maybe, they could have tried to make a difference. But then it was curtains when Praveen Stefan ran down for his second. Great running from Stefan, and also good strength shown in breaking those tackles as well. Josephians wanted to add all the points that they could, but this lovely bit of work from Surya Dodangoda has been a pivotal part in Isipathana's success throughout the season. And Costa, like all good scrum halves do, saw the line, attacked it, and Silva doing the honours and adding the extras.
Really dominant performance, and another try assist from Surya Dodangoda to his good mate who binds down next to him, Vaibala Pandit, who's had an outstanding season. And that brings to an end that highlights reel, and what a reel it was. It was a superb second half. And these are the stats of that game, 7 tries to 3. So you've been treated to a 10-try game, 4 conversions to 2, and the 2 penalties that really did make a difference in that first half to keep Isipathana with a little bit of daylight. And our NDB Bank player of the match, Surya Durangada, the number 4 second rower from Isipathana College. What a wonderful performance from him. 3 try assists, which is not something you often see from a second row forward. I'm going to give him that first assist as well because he really created that. And these are the other statistics. St. Joseph's having to make a thumping amount of tackles, 67 to 35, almost double the number. 12 penalties to 9, 21. And it was a game, funnily, where we didn't see a lot of lineouts. And it was 2 to 2, and Isipathana really profiting from the turnovers there.
It's an interesting stat there, Shanaka, is the handling errors, isn't it? St. Joseph just 4 handling errors, Isipathana 9. But if you again just go back to the score, but it just shows how much possession Isipathana had, isn't it? So that's just a reflection of how they play the game at a higher pace with much more of a risk factor. But it's just a testament to how well they execute. It's just the percentages of how well they execute compared to the errors they do make.
Absolutely, because Isipathana were making all the plays throughout the game, which is why that number is slightly higher on the Isipathana side. But due to them having a lot of possession, Isipathana clearly managing to put up that 49 points. Imagine having more handling errors on your account and managing to get 7 tries to your name.
We have the presentation coming up in just a few moments, and we'll be back for the trophy handover on the Papare.com in just a moment.
ප්‍රශ්නේ බාබකිව් නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිට්ස්. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ බාබකිව් කික් එක.
මෙන්න බාබකිව් නේ?
Fun lifestyle එකට TCL ම තමයි. අද කාලෙට
නව තාලෙට
TCL ම තමයි.
සිංහවැතින් අදට ගැලපෙන TCL 20 series.
Introducing Quickie.lk, Sri Lanka's favorite online marketplace with a wide range of product categories. Pharmaceuticals, automobile, groceries, electronics, flowers and cakes, homeware and appliances, and special services such as Quickie Concierge and Quickie SOS. Providing you with multiple payment options, quick delivery, and reliable customer support. Get anything you want delivered anywhere in Sri Lanka with special late-night delivery until 3 a.m. within Colombo and suburbs. Download the Quickie.lk mobile app on your Android or iOS device or visit www.quickie.lk. Quickie.lk. Convenience delivered.
අයිනෝ රයිනෝ පුතා හැබැයියා ගෙදර නිදියන්නෙම අමූතු තැනක.
කාලගුණය කොහොමුණත් රයිනෝ නං වාලට සේෆ් තමයි මුළු ගෙදරම. Rhino cement roofing sheets. Then you know Rhino. I know.
Welcome to the universe of the Raz. Whatever you want, whatever you need, all you can imagine is on your feet. When miles are abridged, happiness is unlocked. Discover your Daraz.
Pain? Don't let it get you down. For instant pain relief, Baraka Joint Ease Fast Action Spray. Baraka Joint Ease Spray, your pain relief partner on the field.
ප්‍රශ්නේ ක්‍රිස්පි නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිස්කෝ. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ ක්‍රිස්පි කික් එක. ක්‍රිස්පිනේ ක්‍රිස්කෝනේ.
For instant pain relief, Baraka Joint Ease Fast Action Spray, your pain relief partner on the field.
දරාස් ලෝකයට එකතු වෙන්න. ඔබට සැරිසරන්න. සිත්
Welcome back to live pictures on the Papare.com. We're still drawing our breath here in the commentary box for what has been an outstanding game of 10-try rugby that we have seen in the Dialog Schools Knockout Tournament. The President's Trophy final going to Isipathana by 49 points to 22. And now for the presentation from Sudarshan Piris, Abdullah Yusuf and myself, Shana Kamara Singh. It's over to Kevin.
Thank you, Sudarshana, and the rest of the Papare.com commentary guys have been fantastic as always. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the closing ceremony of the President's Trophy of the Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts competition for the year 2022. 2 weeks of rugby knockouts action has culminated in one magnificent day here at the Royal Sports Complex between these two magnificent teams. Can we first of all have a big round of applause for the two teams that we saw do battle today, St. Joseph's College and your eventual champions, Isipatana College. A big thank you once again to Dialog Asiata PLC for everything they have done and continue to do for schools rugby here in Sri Lanka, helping these young boys, these young men hone their skills and take those skills not only to club level but also to national level. We know how hard it has been to get schools rugby back to our screens, back to these fields, especially because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But the hard work put in by Dialog Asiata PLC has made sure that schools rugby is back with a bang. So thank you very much, Dialog Asiata PLC. It's now time to start the official closing ceremony. I'd like to invite the following dignitaries to start the official proceedings. Let's start with Mr. Harsha Samaranayaka, the Senior General Manager, Brand and Media, Dialog Asiata PLC. Mr. B.A. Aberatna, President, Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association. Mr. Upali Amarthunga, Deputy Director of Sports for the Ministry of Education. Mr. Nirodha Vijayarama, Secretary, Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association. Mr. Buddhika Athanayaka, Deputy President, Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association. And finally, Mr. Damita Pereira, Treasurer, Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association. Gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind, please join me on the stage. Rightio, these boys right next to me, I can see they're waiting impatiently to collect their trophies. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right down to the felicitation part of the closing ceremony. We'll start with of course, the runners-up. And for this, I'd like to invite Mr. Nirodha Vijayarama and Mr. Damita Pereira, the Secretary and the Treasurer, respectively, of the Sri Lanka Schools Rugby Football Association. Gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind, please step up. Mr. Vijayarama and Mr. Pereira. Ladies and gentlemen, led by their captain, please welcome the entire team, the runners-up of the President's Trophy, St. Joseph's College. Now, before we go on with the festivities, I'd also like to invite onto the stage Reverend Father Ranjit Andrade and Mr. Oshara Panditharatna, the Rector and Principal, respectively, of St. Joseph's College and Isipatana College. If you could join us on stage, please. Reverend Father Andrade and Mr. Oshara Panditharatna, please join us on the stage. There we are. Right then. Moving on to the presentation of the runners-up trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, they knocked out plenty of teams in this tournament. They couldn't knock out only one team. That's the team they face here in the final. So for that, I'd like you to give a big round of applause and welcome to the stage the captain of the St. Joseph's team, the runners-up of the President's Trophy 2022. Mr. P.A. Aberatna and Mr. Upali Amarathunga, if you wouldn't mind, please hand over the trophy. Let's have a big round of applause for St. Joseph's College. A valiant effort, but not to be there. Heard for all of Colombo to be heard. Please welcome the captain of Isipathana College, your champions for the year 2022.
Well, it's celebration time as the fireworks go by. Isipathana College. Just incredible story here at the Royal Complex. Signing off in style, Isipathana. Just lovely bit of work. They managed to win the Schools Rugby League with the unbeaten tag. Here they are delivering the knockout trophy as well. Double champions of 2022 Dialog Schools Rugby, undisputed kings of Sri Lankan Schools Rugby this year. The Green Machine, Isipathana, will continue their celebrations into the night. What a final it has been, a 10-try final here at Royal Complex as the fireworks go by and the team continues their celebration. Isipathana have always had that support, the 16th man who've been right behind them, the 16th man, the Green Army that has come out in numbers to support these young lads, and these young lads have lived for their legacy. Key stats again for you. Isipathana College 49 points to St. Joseph's 22, 7 tries against 3 tries, and the NDB player of the match, Surya Durangura of Isipathana College, who delivered a superlative performance throughout the game and managed to get 3 try assists out of that 7 tries. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure bringing you this absolutely incredible final of Dialog Schools Rugby President's Trophy final between Isipathana College and St. Joseph's College, and we really do hope that you have enjoyed the coverage brought to you from Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, www.thepapare.com, throughout this rugby season. Now, comeback season, the making of the Titans, bringing you this has been an incredible experience for all of us at thepapare.com. As for my co-commenters, Shan Kamar Singh, Abdullah Yusuf, thepapare.com production and the technical team, I'm Sudarshan Paris signing off for thepapare.com from the Royal Complex, and we really do hope that you are going to tune into Sri Lanka taking on Pakistan in the Asia.
ප්‍රශ්නේ බාබකිව් නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිට්ස්. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ බාබකිව් කික් එක.
මෙන්න බාබකිව් නේ?
ෆන් ලයිෆ්ස්ටයිල් එකට TCL ම තමයි. අද කාලෙට
නව තාලෙට
TCL ම තමයි.
සිංහවෙතින් අදට ගැලපෙන TCL 20 series.
Introducing Quickie.lk, Sri Lanka's favorite online marketplace with a wide range of product categories. Pharmaceuticals, automobile, groceries, electronics, flowers and cakes, homeware and appliances, and special services such as Quickie Concierge and Quickie SOS. Providing you with multiple payment options, quick delivery, and reliable customer support. Get anything you want delivered anywhere in Sri Lanka with special late-night delivery until 3 a.m. within Colombo and suburbs. Download the Quickie.lk mobile app on your Android or iOS device or visit www.quickie.lk. Quickie.lk. Convenience delivered.
අයිනෝ රයිනෝ පුතා හැබැයියා ගෙදර නිදියන්නෙම අමූතු තැනක.
කාලගුණය කොහොමුණත් රයිනෝ නං වාලට සේෆ් තමයි මුළු ගෙදරම. Rhino cement roofing sheets. Then you know Rhino. I know.
Welcome to the universe of the Raz. Whatever you want, whatever you need, all you can imagine is on your feet. When miles are abridged, happiness is unlocked. Discover your Daraz.
Pain? Don't let it get you down. For instant pain relief, Baraka Joint Ease Fast Action Spray. Baraka Joint Ease Spray, your pain relief partner on the field.
ප්‍රශ්නේ ක්‍රිස්පි නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිස්කෝ. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ ක්‍රිස්පි කික් එක. ක්‍රිස්පිනේ ක්‍රිස්කෝනේ.
For instant pain relief, Baraka Joint Ease Fast Action Spray, your pain relief partner on the field.
ඩලාස් ලෝකයට එකතු වෙන්න. ඔබට සැරිසරන්න, සිත්සේ තෝරාගන්න. හැම දේම ඔබ ළඟටම. කොතැන හිටියත් එකම යායක්. අසීමිත සතුටක්. අත්විඳින්න. ඔබේ දරස් සොයාගන්න.
What's the best ceiling sheet, Mr. Basil?
That's the Rhino ceiling. The Rhino ceiling. A wood pattern finish.
You can color it your way. The plain ceiling. Rhino.
The roofing's Rhino.
The ceiling's Rhino.
Incredible strength. I know.
Durability that's high.
I know. Cost effective too.
I know.
It's the best choice always.
Over half a century of trust, now in a new formula. Rhino roofing and ceiling sheets.
I know. Rhino.
මොනවදාලු මේවේ කිසි ක්‍රිස්පි ගතියක් නැහැනේ.
ක්‍රිස්පි නේ? එතකොට මේ කර කර ගාලා හැපෙන්නේ?
කර කර ගාලා හැපෙනවා.
මොනවද කිව්වේ? ක්‍රිස්පි කේස් මෙතන බෑ. ප්‍රශ්නේ ක්‍රිස්පි නම් උත්තරේ ක්‍රිස්කෝ. මෙලිබන් සේවරි ක්ලික් එකේ ක්‍රිස්පි කික් එක. ක්‍රිස්පිනේ ක්‍රිස්කෝනේ.
We live in a world that's rapid and demanding. We live in a community that values trust and reliability. So what if speed and convenience had a new makeover? Introducing the new Quickie.lk, Sri Lanka's favorite online marketplace. Quickie.lk, convenience delivered.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.